Today's episode is presented by Clark's. Clark's story began almost 200 years ago when Cyrus and James Clark made a sleeper from sheepskin. At the time, it was groundbreaking, a combination of invention and craftsmanship that's remained at the heart of what Clark's does. From the very beginning, Clark's has always thought differently. Brilliant ideas are what set Clark's apart. We are teaming up with Clark's and Podgo to bring you up to 30% off on select items, including on the iconic Clark's Desert Boot by going to podgo.co/Clarks. That's podgo.co/Clarks, CLARKS. And now on with the show. Welcome, everyone, to the newest edition of Top Guy Theater. Come so far in such a short amount of time, it's fantastic. With me today, as always, you saw them in our brand new intro video we debuted today. Frank Bruno, Mike Kolb, Carl Mandick, Brandy Wagner, Phil Jackson, Antonio Santos. Carl, nice enough to join us from his tanning bed. Also with us today, from Say by the Pod, you also know him from ad-free shows from just about everything now. This is Pauly B.
Wow, TJ, thank you. What a tremendous introduction by you, first of all. And I love the shirt. I'm liking what Frank Bruno's sporting too. I see that. Some Saved by the Pod love in the house. And man, I'm excited to be here. I appreciate this. Now, listen, what I'm not excited about is that I have to follow Thunder Rosa, okay? So that was a huge show for you guys, and now you bring me in. Yikes, talk about a ratings drop.
I think you're up for the challenge.
Oh, boy.
Yes,
Mike.
Mike.
I know I can't compete with Efren either, so.
I told him he would be better than Evan.
Wow.
I just have a question, TJ. When you asked me to be here, you told me we were going to have the guy from Ad Free Shows. I was expecting the Podfather, not the guy that replaces him. Like,
not
Wow.
Junior.
I was gonna say, does that make you like the Sun and the Goodfellas now? Like you're on the rise?
You know, I don't know what it makes me. I know it puts a target on me now. I don't know. You know, hey, I'm just happy to help out. And usually when I've jumped in for him, it's like 20 minutes before it needs to occur. Like when I got the call about grilling JR, it was 10:30 at night, and he said, "Can you record at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning?" And I thought, wow, guess I'll be watching that show tonight till 1 a.m. and going through notes. And literally, I got no sleep. And I woke up early at 5 to listen to the Bischoff, because if you guys remember, they did the Raw kind of a complimentary
Yeah,
guest
that's right,
that
yeah.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I was like, who knows what he shared? So I got to see if there's any nuggets there. And then you get on with JR, and it's like, I don't care if you're nervous or not, pal. It's showtime. You don't have time to think about that. So pretty crazy though.
And the video aspect too. I mean, is that going through your head? Because you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah. Right?
I hit up Stan Morris. So Stan Morris does he produces all the videos. And so he calls me that night and is like, listen, man, you got this. I'll send you the show notes now. And I get the show notes, and they're sectioned off. It's not like just a running dialogue where you just start at the top and work your way to the bottom. He's got it sectioned out with things going on around this time. Here's the event, and here's all the stuff kind of. So I'm looking through the notes, never having followed a flow before for Conrad, thinking, I got to figure out how to bounce back and forth through all this stuff. When do I do it? When do I not? You don't even have really time to think about, does JR give a shit that I'm on this or not? Or what is he going to think about me? It's just, you're right, Carl. It's crazy because there's a video aspect of it too. And that's going to get pushed out to the masses. So I had to make sure I was having a good hair day. And I don't have those Carl Mandick problems, but it was fun, man. It was a good time.
I saw myself in your head. Saw my
There, yeah, that's right. Cole, tell him, go ahead. Tell him what you told me when we were doing Kyoto.
so I messaged Pauly, and I realized something that Pauly and Lucky Lauren Y have something really big in common. When they're on these Zooms, they both reflect light. Lauren off her cans, Pauly off his dome. So
He's texting me this. Well, I'm like, so Mike, tell me about Brock Lesnar and his rib issue.
What happens? You look at one, it'll make you go blind.
Blind guy.
And we all know cans win every time over the ball
Exactly.
dome.
I like to call them bosoms.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Uh,
guys, we're
I
going to
can't- I
watch
can't
the
get
$1 Million
into that.
Challenge, Starrcade 84,
Mm.
which I kind of went over this card. And before we started, a lot of this card is shit. But there is some really huge stars in this. Plus, we get to see Flair and Rhodes. And this is a really interesting time in wrestling, as we'll get into. And Paula, you wanted to pick this one specifically because, I mean, this is your jam here, 84. So,
Yeah, no, you and I kind of connected, TJ, on old school Jim Crockett and Mid-Atlantic Wrestling when
did.
we first started talking, because I think this one, November of 84, I would have been 7 years old. So think about when you guys were all 7 years old. I know for some of you it was like 10 years ago, but
jeez.
I'm kidding. No, but I'm an old guy compared to all of you, probably 40. I'll be 44 this year in September. So I'm much
40.
older. And anyway, so I was 7, and you got to think about it. I was moving from that summer. I had moved from Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania area to Maryland. And when we moved to Maryland, that's when we started getting channels like PHL 17 and stuff like that would play Jim Crockett Promotions and Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and all that good stuff. So I start watching probably right around this time frame as a 7-year-old. And when you talk about real wrestling, dude, TJ, you know, this felt so real.
this is
Different than yeah.
I grew up, up in a Yankee. I'm from Indiana. So, I mean,
Okay.
I was strictly a WWF guy. I stumbled upon WCW, I think in like 94.
Okay.
But I've gone back and I've watched so much Mid-Atlantic, Georgia Championship Wrestling, world class. Haven't quite got into Florida Championship Wrestling, but I do want to do that one day. But like these NWA territories in the early 80s, they don't mess around.
Yeah.
So before we start each show, we read the intro on the network just to get an idea what we're getting ready to get into. Brandy Wagner, would you do us the honors this week?
$1 million is on the line as NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair takes on Dusty Rhodes, with legendary boxing champion Smokin' Joe Frazier as special guest referee. Tully Blanchard faces Ricky Steamboat for the NWA World Television Championship. Jimmy Valiant takes on Paul Jones in a loser leaves town tuxedo match, and much more.
So
I am ready. I am ready.
Who doesn't like Jimmy Valiant and Paul Jones in a tuxedo match? So we're going to steal some from Efren.
It's all I've ever wanted.
We're going to
I was going
start
to say,
the show.
I wish they would keep the tuxedos on. I'm
especially Jimmy Valiant. Jimmy Valiant has the weirdest body of anyone I've ever seen.
Michael Hayes' cousin, as they talk about on What Happened When, like look like twin brothers.
There's no way they're not.
The weirdest body. Have you not seen my Playgirl thing?
Do I need to put it back up because I will?
I have not. I have not seen it, Frank.
Okay, then let's leave it that way.
Mike Kolb, what can you do for me, pal?
You really?
So I'm going to be honest with you, Pauly, and everybody knows that I like to pull ribs and have fun. But Frank Bruno called me privately, separately, and was like, "Hey, Mike, for real, can we make sure this doesn't get out? Can you make me that promise?" And while he doesn't know that I had my fingers crossed when I said yes, I'll work on getting the approval from Frank Bruno, and we'll share it with you, but only with his approval.
There's one guy that scares me to death, and everyone that I've met, and this whole ad-free shows deal. There's one guy, and he just spoke. His name's Mike Kolb. He scares the shit out of me. The Owen Hart of ad-free shows with this ribbing stuff. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Pauly, I'm telling you right now.
Pauly. Now that you mentioned that, I have to address something about that. So I was not privy to a rib that occurred a couple days ago. Pauly knows what I'm talking about now. The big time Pauly B Twitter account, Mike. You know anything about that?
Yeah, this is what I know about it. I created it to have some fun, and I got this panic text from Pauly like, "Hey man, do you know who's running this? Like, this is gonna destroy me. Can you please get this removed?" And I was just like, "Nah, bro, I don't know who's doing it." And then I could sense the panic in his text, and I was like, "I can't do this to him. I gotta have a heart and tell him that it's me."
Here's the thing.
I actually messaged Pauly. I'm like, hey, you didn't have to delete that tweet you put out about me. I thought it was hilarious. He's like, yeah, that wasn't me, but I'll give you a guess as to who it was. I'm like, does his initials start with Mortal Kombat? Like the Mortal Kombat initials? He just started laughing. So yeah. Good job.
Listen, it's scary. Listen, that was right after the JR deal, right? So I'm like, okay, hopefully this is well received. And you know, Evan had talked to me and he was like, listen, the bubble, right? The ad-free shows bubble people are enjoying it. They like it. The real key is going to be, what about everyone else outside of ad-free shows and their feedback? So I'm that day getting lots of tagged in lots of tweets and people starting to follow me, and which was cool. That was cool to see, and I was happy that it wasn't a butcher job. And then this Twitter account comes out, and I'm like, oh my god! And this Twitter account's replying to people I just met that day with big time, and I'm like, dude, you're killing me. I'm not Conrad. I'm just like the newbie on the block. Please, can you stop trying to destroy me before I even get started?
Wow.
Anyway, it was fun, but I was
the best tweet I had. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for this one. Was when Conrad was talking about how great of a job Pauly did, and so I commented on Conrad's tweet saying, "Just make the check out to cash." And that's when I get this text from Pauly going, "The account's responding to people now. What is this?
What are you doing?"
I could just sense the panic in Pauly, and I was like, I felt like I had Pauly in the palm of my hands.
Oh, you did.
You did.
And I
You did.
didn't want to crush him. I was like,
Well,
fuck.
there you go. Phil just admitted that he thought that it was me who created it. So there you go, Mike.
This is like Dwight, and it's got Jim Halpert written all over it of
like a secret dossier and like the whole deal. Like, and by the way, it will hit you again, because I thought best rib, no rib was going to be played on me until my background, which Mike, I'm going to give you credit for this one. I'll even have this for a little bit. I'm going to own up to this one, because I go, he's not going to pull anything on me. He's going to just like, no, how do I change my background? I should have probably thought of that.
All right,
it's the video one.
Should we start the show in the meantime?
Yeah, let's do that, because it's 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk through.
Yeah, we'll talk through
Denny
this
Brown
other-
and Mike Davis.
Yeah.
All right. So we're starting the show. We're stealing from F, and we're going to start at 5 seconds. That way, everyone starts at the same time. So you should see. It looks like highlights from the cage match from the year before with Flair and Race. So, Pauly, you're our guest today. Go ahead and give us the countdown.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
You all owe me money because I told you he could count backwards. None of you thought he could.
Here we go.
Come on,
Taking
I'm
the
being
over
cold.
under. I gotta be conservative. Sorry.
That is one of the
$50 is coming your way,
wildest
Mike.
head scissor takedowns I've ever seen in my life.
Look at the blood on that ring mat, guys. Are
That's
you
gross.
kidding me?
Right.
They never
That's
changed
awesome.
out the mats back in the day. So it was, and here we go, their version of a green screen. It looks like behind Gordon Sully and Bob Cottle. There we
Oh, so
go. I've got to meet Bob Cottle, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah. I met him and I said, hey, do you mind if we do a little video to Tony Schiavone? He talks about you a lot on WHW and how much you meant to him. And he said, sure. So I videoed him and he just said, hey, Tony, hope you're doing well. And it was really sweet, really nice. And I sent it over to Tony.
It's funny you should mention Tony Schiavone, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell this. So back to Mike Colbribs, I guess.
It's the theme of the show.
So
This was a
Phil lost a bet.
This was a bet.
Phil lost a bet, and when he lost the bet, the deal was on the next Ask Tony Anything, Phil had to pretty much tell Tony he has fantasies about him, sexual ones.
Oh my god.
So then
Frank's losing it already.
we had the Tony Zoom 2 nights ago. Phil changed up a little bit. It was allowed. And he basically said, you know, did any fans fantasize about you? They told you, and Tony said no. And then Phil asked him basically to be the announcer for him and his wife making sweet, sweet love. And what would that sound like?
I remember that now.
Mike told me first, he's like, Phil, you have to do it to JR. I'm like, I refuse to do it to JR Eric Bischoff. That's not happening.
That Zoom call would have
So-
ended right now.
Yeah.
So I believe I'm looking at Truck and Tom Miller and Earl Hebner.
Yes, is that Earl or is it Dave? It might
That's
be
a great
Earl.
question.
Yeah.
I think this is Earl. I'm almost positive it's Earl.
Okay.
How
But,
the
you
hell
know,
can
the
anyone
twins,
tell?
Who knows?
How do
Also
you
a
Exactly.
great question.
Hulk Hogan and Andre are still trying to figure that out. So who knows? Denny Brown, downtown. He's the world junior heavyweight champion.
So
Russo looks
Have that
really
belt
good.
yet? Jay?
no, but I'm in the process of acquiring things.
Mike Davis has no clue what manscaping is back then as he
No.
takes the robe apart and we get to see his beautiful chest.
His nice V-neck he's got there. The robe.
Guys, I wanted to tell you I went belt crazy yesterday.
Oh, come
Uh-oh.
on, Frank.
He did. Wait,
First
So
it was Funko Pops.
Yeah.
That's a
I-
big
so-
jump to belts.
So I acquired I've got the winged eagle behind me. I've got the big
Yes, that
big
looks
eagle.
sharp.
I got the big eagle.
Oh, I
And
love
I've
the
got-
big eagle.
Yeah, I've got I don't think you
The one
can
with the
see it.
scratch logo, the scratch WWF logo,
This one's got the block. It's the one
the
that
block
I don't-
logo. Okay.
Can you see it right here?
I can see it. Yeah, from a distance. I see it over
Um,
there with your nice little quilt there. That's nice too.
Yeah, sorry.
True story.
That's what I meant.
What the way you see Frank's bedroom right now is how it's been for the last 35 years, with
Shut
the posters
up,
on the wall
dude.
and everything.
And the big
M&Ms
tub
above
of
the
the big
bed.
tub of Vaseline right there by the bedstand.
Oh,
All right. Anyway,
just
I've
trying
got
to
a-
show off my belt collection.
I've got a shop intercontinental title that I'm not a fond of, so I got a blue backed WWF Intercontinental yesterday from Coelho, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do this," and I reached out on the Gold Rush group, and I found somebody to custom make me a WWF European Championship
Nice.
and the Demolition Tag Team Championship.
Nice.
That's the one that I think Conrad owns the ring use version of, the demolition
Yeah,
tag.
that bastard. Yeah.
Frank, can you
Wait,
turn
take
your
some-
camera again towards the doorway?
Oh Jesus, why?
Let's do a tour of Frank's room while
Well,
we're
I
here.
just want
So
to
what's on the shelf
I
there?
want
Is
to
that
see
like
the
a-
doorway. Go to the doorway. Go all the
Go
way
to the doorway. All right, let's go.
So this is my
Oh, wh-
proof that Frank's bedroom hasn't changed. His dad took the door off the hinges years ago, and it's still not back on. Just pointing that out.
God.
So let's look at your poster
Jesus.
collection as we go around the room there. So what do we got on the
SummerSlam-
wall?
SummerSlam '94. That's Backlash.
Taker
01,
versus Taker.
I was there.
And then that's WrestleMania 18. I have more. I just don't have the room on my wall. The wall
Okay.
in front of me has got Funko Pops everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
Was-
speaking of the Funko Pops, we have a problem because obviously we know Frank is obsessed.
Yeah.
But
Been well documented.
I bought 6 this week.
oh, so now we have someone else who's obsessed.
There's like 4
yeah.
on the show.
Do you guys keep them in the container? Or do you let them breathe?
I keep them
in
in the
the container.
container.
Okay, okay.
And I put a plastic sleeve around the container.
I told
Ooh.
Frank that if he lets
He
them
doesn't even do
breathe,
that for his
he
own
will no
penis.
longer have a place on the show.
It's for
What
target
did you
practice.
say,
Keeps them
TJ?
clean.
So
I don't believe in those.
I told Frank that if he lets them breathe, he's no longer allowed on the show.
Oh yeah, no,
Ah.
I'm not.
People that
I
let them
know
breathe
you
are
don't
maniacs.
believe in protection, Antonio. That's how you are the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Clap champion.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am.
That we already knew that's.
Can I interrupt again? I'm sorry, I suck,
Yes.
but I got to talk to Carl Mandick here for a second.
Uh-oh.
You have the most unbelievable collection of pictures and memorabilia, and TJ, you do too, because I love that Saved by the Pod wood sign, by the way. But what you got? WrestleMania 3, talk about what you have behind you, man. I'm impressed with
Right.
this.
So here's the thing.
And I
only
feel like
learned
you
from
swap. Do you swap stuff in and out? Because I feel like I've
I
seen
do.
other stuff.
Yeah. There is times I do, but when I say like I believe in balance and like feng shui and like
Way.
having it, there
Yeah.
is a certain balance and layout to the room. Let's see, we got this Bruiser Brody one is
Oh,
Wow.
unreal. So that came from that Japanese magazine. That's over
That's
there.
cool.
But the one I wanted like more than anything is actually non-wrestling. It's actually Jim Morrison's arrest report. up there, way up there, and Sonny signed. That came
I
from
know you
Rocco.
want me, baby.
And then we've got a Ninja Turtles, Turtles
Very
in Time
cool.
slash.
I see Jordan up top there.
Yeah, Jordan and Barkley. Yeah, that one's
Nice.
not like it's like a airbrush autograph. It's not like real. But no, here's the thing. The two things I covet the most are in Kansas, and it's from the Baltimore arena where the Bullets played, Wizards, Manupal, Muggsy Bogues, whatever. I've got the 91 Great American Bash with the wrong printed poster of Flair versus Luger, which is
cool.
being Wyndham. Yeah, so that is still in Wichita, right
by literally 5 minutes from Matt Lovett. And with that is this shirt, but just CM Punk with the Superman cape on, signed, and us together at a UFC convention. So yeah, that was those two things I really would like to have back. But no, dude, half this stuff. Actually, my favorite thing, honestly, out of anything, I'm not putting it over Tony. I love the Whitney Wright, Conrad, and Tony UHF one. That's the one that, like, if somebody came in here and said you can keep one thing, even the Andre the Giant thing, I want that. Like, I'm keeping that.
What kind of James Bond shit did you just pull back there?
What I do?
No, Pauly's got like a levitating green screen. I'm baffled by what I just saw.
Yeah, no, it's this green screen is pretty wild. So literally you can pull it up in the air. It's got a handle on it, or you can just drop it down, get rid of it. And I was looking at memorabilia and I thought he mentioned CM Punk, and I wanted to show you guys a picture real quick.
So real quick, TJ, that green screen, that's what you get when you get that sweet Conrad Thompson money.
Pauly, whatever you're going to show us, I'm going to hate, because there's this running theme with CM Punk on this show and me not having his autograph. That started way earlier in the show, where I tried to get an autograph picture of CM Punk, one of his drawings, and I was in bidding war for it, and I slept on the last 20 minutes and lost it. You son of a bitch.
Oh,
That's awesome. Yeah, that is.
This is from
my heart.
This is from Starrcade, obviously, and he's wearing his AJ Lee shirt. Can
I
you
love
guys
it.
see it? Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that was my guy, man. CM Punk.
Me too.
He was the guy that got me back into caring about I cared about him because he got you invested. His mic work was phenomenal, and he sucked you in because he felt real.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you have any like favorite events that you went to that Punk was at, like actual shows, wrestling shows? Like for me, it's Money in the Bank in Chicago.
But amazing, dude, that you got to go there. That's so awesome.
I've got one. It just so happens it was not, obviously wasn't planned this way. I went to a Raw in Indy in like 2009 or 10, maybe in 11, and it ended up being the Paul Bearer Memorial Show. And that was the episode CM Punk stole the urn.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more piece
I
for
love
you guys.
everything about that storyline.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Since we're watching Crockett.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
I love that. My favorite part of this whole thing is that Arn and Tully are in polo shirts and you're in a suit.
I literally, hey, listen, because that's the same day, met some other guys too, Bret Hart and others, but I was like, I'm going to dress up, man. How often do you get to have pictures with some of these guys?
I'm not blaming you. I just
but I mean, people looked at me like, who's this guy think he is? And I didn't care because I'm like, these are pictures that I know I'm going to want to blow up. And and when you think Horseman, you think sport coats and you think, looking their best.
Good.
So
look at this handsome gentleman on our television screen.
Tony Schiavone. Look at baby Schiavone here with his tie tack. He's got a tie tack, guys.
Now we get to watch Mr. Ito and Brian Adias.
He said we get to watch. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
It's a privilege.
Can I
No,
tell you that belt was hideous looking. The belt before in the last match, like had
Oh,
crap
yes.
coming off the top of it. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, if you read,
Was it
probably maybe
black?
you could speak to this too. I read the 16 pounds of gold book and the big gold book, and when you read those, you realize the NWA didn't care for their belts at all.
Well, why the hell did they?
Like the dome when they introduced the dome globe, which the story behind that's fascinating. The original's velvet, by the way, which is stupid, and they had to stop using it because it stunk. Because
True
sweaty
story.
guys wear it.
Mhm.
But when part of it was because the previous NWA champion did not want to give the belt up to Jack Briscoe, but also that belt was falling apart. And even if you go back and watch like WCW in 2001, the side plates are literally falling off of it every time you see it. Like it's crazy. Like they don't give a shit about those belts.
Well, you remember too, TJ, and we're doing the 1986 watch along, and with WHW right now. But prior to the big gold belt debuting at the end of February, which we'll see with Conrad and Tony, I can't wait for the first time it shows up on TV. But there's literally the beads that wrap around the dome globe, the outside plate there, that main plate. They're just chunks of it are just broke off. It looks like someone just beat it was time for a new belt. That belt had been beat to shit, to your point.
Yeah.
Can't hear you,
Real
Carl.
quick, hey, TJ. You know how you were talking about being there for the Paul Bearer Memorial Show, and you're like, it was 2009, 2010, maybe 2011. Paul Bearer died in 2013.
Oh,
so just so you know,
not good with time.
Listen,
March
and
11th,
you,
2013
That's what
was your
Jamie
show.
says too.
you asked Kolb if I had seen CM Punk back in the day, and I don't remember going and seeing him once he started his red hot run with WWE. I don't.
Yeah, I at the time lived in Chicago. I'm a diehard Cubs fan, as many people know. I saw Punk more at Cubs games than I did
Wow.
at live events, because he was all, when he wasn't on the road, he was at Cubs games nonstop, and it was awesome.
So if you look, let me blow up my screen here. So if you look way over in the left corner where you see the Conrad head for the Wayne's World with Arn,
Yes.
just to the left of that is a Chicago Cubs Lucha Libre mask I got when Punk sang the national anthem at a Cubs game in I'm not going to guess the year. I'm not good at that. But it was right after he left. It wasn't that much longer after he left.
I think you mean he's saying the seventh inning stretch, not the
That
national
one.
anthem.
That one. Yep.
I'm imagining
Oh,
CM
I
Punk
can
saying
hear
that.
CM
man.
Punk. Oh, you say, can you?
And it was,
see? Oh my god.
That's funny.
It was actually a Brewers doubleheader. He was there for the first game.
I got to
That would
ask,
be
since we're talking
May
some Cubs-
17th, 2014. Sorry.
Thank you.
No, there you go, Mike Kolb. I got to ask, you guys know Vin E, right? He's on all
Yeah.
of our Zooms
Yeah.
and stuff. Did he work for the Cubs?
He did.
Yes.
Yes, he did their.
I just saw him tweet a picture of the World Series ring.
He was on there. He did their security.
Unbelievable. That's awesome.
And he was also on a past episode of Tough Guy Theater.
He was.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting guy.
I actually interviewed with the Cubs back in 2011 to do some IT work. And I remember Vin working the front. He was at the front security desk where I had to sign in. He looked so familiar to me. And then when he said work for the Cubs, it just connected all the dots.
Dave Meltzer just got the win there.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
And there he goes doing his jumping Jim Brunzell imitation, getting out of the ring like the Killer Bees.
I give that 2 stars.
Mr. What's this guy's name? Mr. Saito or
Mr. Ito.
Asiago?
Mr. Ito.
Mr. Ito. Okay.
I believe, I want to say he was one of the the head heels in the AWA in the early 70s.
This is going to be me and Mike Kolb tomorrow on the pre and post show for Royal Rumble in our suits and vests with our long mics. Is this
You
what
and
we're
I
going to
will
dress
never
up
be
like?
on screen together ever.
I know.
It's you and Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren and I pre, but then post it's Kolb and Lauren and maybe Pondwater Dave. for tomorrow
Uh,
night's Rumble.
Is there some sort of sandwich I don't know?
Oh boy.
Some kind of Kolb and pond water sandwich with Warren as the meat. Cheese.
Oh,
is that
that's
what you're saying?
Antonio down there.
I pick my spots.
He does. He doesn't say a lot, but when he does, ha!
Kolb, if pond water joins you guys, you might as well just see your way out because he and Lauren and their giddiness will take over.
Mm-hmm.
The great part is I'll have control. I'll be producer and on it, so I'll just start muting him or getting rid of him. We'll do something.
Guys, if you jump on, help us out because this is our first time ever doing this, and our plan is just to go through the card. So chime in through the chats and stuff, and we'll shout you out and find out your opinions. I don't know how much of you will actually be watching the Rumble tomorrow night, but
Many of us will
unfortunately,
actually be watching it together.
I will
Who
not
will?
be there.
Who are you watching it with, Brandy?
A bunch of us are gonna watch. It
Oh, there you
together.
guys go. Okay,
Antonio's
cool.
in, Carl's in, Frank's in, Mark Nelson.
Mark Nelson.
Edward
Where's Mark
Wise.
Nelson at? Does he ever join Top Guy Theater?
He's been on once.
Yes, he's been on
Okay.
before. Yeah.
Where's
He
Matt
is-
Levitt?
where is-
Matt Levitt is saving
He's
the world.
probably saving the world.
And where's the map guy? I'm a map.
That's what he
I'm a
always
I
map.
don't know.
Henry is at work.
Oh, okay.
You know what's
The
funny
way-
is Henry, when he first started doing this show, God, episode 3, I think, is when he first came on. He wouldn't talk.
It was like a turtle.
And
Wouldn't.
like
I
he
would not say a
DM'd
thing.
me and was like, how did it go? I go, I
I'd
wish you
like
would have
to
spoken
say
more,
something.
because he is a super smart guy when it comes to wrestling. And so we started having the show and he started to warm up. There's a very good chance the guy that had no personality on the show is probably going to get the first t-shirt we have specialized, because I just want a picture of a map and then map it, and that's going to be Henry's shirt.
I'm
Map
all
it.
for it.
Map it.
Map it.
If I could
Guys-
show you, if I could point your direction to my map.
If you could take a look just up here.
There's Carl. Hi, Carl.
You know what I
There's
was? I
Carl.
was on. I was on. I had the flashing red light on my.
The mute button?
That
The mute
that
button.
is the
Well, back
mute
to-
button.
back to
Carl's
so-
Ray.
first time with the Blue Yeti mic. He is
The-
falling to pieces.
So here's the thing. I just want to comment real quick in this one. We've got two guys wearing the same trunks. Is Jesse Barr the dad of Art Barr or Jesse and the Rippers of
Jesse Barr would go on to be known as Jimmy Jack Funk in the
Oh,
WWF.
wow.
And we're
Oh
the Lone-
my
the Lone Ranger.
god.
That's who Jesse Barr is.
And I have to play the Henry card here of having a keen eye, because he actually, like, he would pick up things that were so obscure. And TJ, you're completely right in the sense that you'd be like, yeah, do we have to wind that back for a second? What is with this one photographer that has a leather vest on and no sleeves? Not the guy that you're seeing right now. There's one guy that's got like he looks like he's at Sturgis, a Fandango style. That might be him.
So I did just take a peek at my Google machine. Jesse Barr is the brother of Art Barr, second generation star, son of
Mm.
Sandy Barr, who would
Oh.
also
Ran
go on to
Portland.
be known
Oh.
as Jimmy Jack Funk.
That's right.
Why is it when they would introduce like family members who weren't really related, they always had 3 names?
Right.
I mean,
Jimmy
Henry
Jack.
O. Godwin, Phineas I. Godwin.
They didn't do it with Art and Ole Anderson.
It's true. It's a
Could
good
be
point.
worse. Who in our group was going to be called Billy Joe Jim Bob?
Oh Christ! Did you have to bring that up?
Oh, that's you. I thought it was Henry for a second.
Mike, your
Oh my
video's
God.
frozen with resting bitch face.
I was about to say, Mike.
And there he goes. He's
There
back.
he is.
No. You have to. No, you got to give the full story on what Henry's name was going to be.
Yeah, Henry's name was going to be Bam Bam, wasn't
Bam,
it?
bam, bam, bam,
Bam Evingham.
bam.
I like that. It's actually a good wrestling name.
Bam Evingham.
Did anyone?
I've been
know
calling
that
him the
Actually,
spot
Brandon-
way
monkey.
better.
Did
I've been calling him the
anyone
spot monkey for the last couple of shows because he's quiet, but he picks his spot. He
does.
won't say anything for like 30, 40 minutes, but then he will just come in with the best freaking zinger of the show out of nowhere.
So what was great, Henry doesn't really swear either. And he's not easily riled up. Like, he's one of the most like low-key guys I've ever met. And we were talking to Efren,
Oh
the
boy.
the Bills, what was that? The divisional game was on?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Ravens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would just so the game that they were watching, and I get it, they're Bills fans, so I wasn't like super pissed about it or anything. But we're watching the game, or they're watching the game. We're watching WrestleMania 9, and we were sitting there talking about like Tatanka's undefeated streak or whatever, and then you just hear Henry go, "Son of a bitch!" Like start screaming in the back.
Tourette's.
I'm trying
Listen,
to hop in with like Todd
Friends
Pettengill
within-
in his toga. I'm like, what do you guys think about Todd? And then it was like,
Oh my God.
yeah, and then it was like, son of a bitch.
And Hen-
Good
Henry's
work,
So
man.
good. Oh my god.
and Henry's reaction to Efren's demonstration.
You're doing a
Oh
fantastic.
yes, demonstration of the Ric Flair award.
Can I show you this? Your phone? Yeah, I've seen your phone before. Fuck you, the heart you wrote in on.
Well,
Is
Phil,
that the voice of
what
God?
the
Who's talking
fuck?
right there?
Phil, behave. You're at work.
Oh,
I-
Yeah,
I
don't
just
know where
heard
to go
"fuck
from
you"
that.
and the horse you rode in on. Is that what I?
Go ahead and
Somebody
mute
must have
that.
gotten the wrong auto parts or something. What's happening?
Go ahead and mute that while we're ahead.
No, that was me being a smart ass to somebody here, like
Oh
usual.
wow.
I don't even know where I was going now.
Wow.
Hey, I'll tell you
Okay.
where I'm going. You were talking about the photographers outside the ring. Does anybody else see Bill Apter? He's
I
back
did
there
see
on the
him.
mat.
I did see
Oh, I
Bill
did
Apter.
see him, yeah.
He's to the
I
yeah,
love
he's there
Mr.
too.
Apter.
Was he 70 here?
Oh my god.
Hey.
70? That would make him like 105 now, bud.
He's double A. He doesn't age.
Exactly.
Because like you can
And-
see him in like late '90s WCW pay-per-views, like Halloween Havoc '98, unfortunately, or a show like that, and he's still wandering around ringside.
Hey, how long are we into this match? And we're still trying to see if we want to do the old hook up the
Test of
knuckle.
strength.
The
Here.
tie up. Are we gonna
What
test
the
the strength here?
Seriously, we're way past that, man.
Did Brock and Goldberg get an idea from this from WrestleMania 20?
This is their whole match.
You got like freaking Thomas Magnum PI here against Jimmy Jack Funk and their matching underoos.
And that's what's
this is-
hilarious. It's like, you guys, you're doing 10 minutes. You're Mike fucking Graham. You're a lightweight. Can we
Hey,
just
I
start
tell you
doing
what, let's
stuff?
lock knuckles. Let's lock knuckles and do a test of strength for about 8 minutes out of the 10-minute match. What do you
God.
think?
So I
Those-
guess this is as good as time as any. 'Cause I was
Uh-oh.
kind of looking some stuff up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh, are we
nothing bad.
eBay shopping?
No. I mean, we can do that too later because we're not going
I
to be
didn't-
worth
It's
anything.
a fucking
until
3-hour show. We're gonna end up on eBay at some point in time. Trust me.
Manny
I'm
Fernandez
broke.
and Black Bart. But
I
didn't
already
do it.
bought another Funko Pop.
I remembered
Jesus.
Starrcade '84, obviously, and then I remembered specifically like Black Sunday because that was
Okay.
around this time. So Black Sunday, for those who don't know,
Is it Black
WWF
Saturday?
bought the
Black
Georgia
Saturday.
Championship Wrestling time slot.
Black Saturday.
What did I say? Black Sunday? Bloody
Yeah, you
Sunday?
called it Black Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
I'm
I
running
love
3.5
it.
hours sleep, so
Little
Love
you
it.
two love.
yeah,
TJ is getting old for a 55-year-old.
I am getting old also. But
Pop up Stevens. Go ahead.
gather round, children.
Grandpa Sim- Grandpa-
It's time to
Grandpa Sim-
listen to Grandpa and his stories of long ago.
Hey, look, there's an old man sitting at a tree. Let's listen to him.
So
Oh
if
my
I
God.
remember right, it was Gerald Briscoe, and somebody else were the ones that sold their share.
Yeah,
out from
sold
under
their share
Ole.
of Georgia. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm following you.
So I'm glad somebody is. So WWF,
As a fellow old guy, I can keep up with you, old timer. Go ahead.
WWF, I believe during this time, WWF is airing on TBS.
Correct.
And actually, it lasted longer than I thought. I thought it was pretty instant. It was like 5 months. So while this is, we're watching Starrcade '84, WWF's on TBS, which is bananas. And then they buy their slot back, I think in February. The last WWF show is on March 30th, 1985, which is my birthday, the day I was born. And then WrestleMania 1's the day after,
Aw.
which
Yeah.
they say WrestleMania 1 was funded by the Crockett's
Who
buying
bought
the
back?
time slot back for Georgia Championship.
That's right.
Wrestling.
They bought it back. Listen, cheap plug for Saved by the Pod. We covered Black Saturday, did a whole show about it. And it was much more entertaining than the shit you just heard come out of TJ Stevens' mouth. I'm totally kidding.
Real quick, what is
I'm kidding.
what is Saved by the Pod?
Damn.
Saved
You
by
guys
the
had
Pod.
Efren on, and you're asking me what is Saved by the Pod? The queen of Saved by
Efren
the
didn't
Pod.
talk about Saved by the Pod.
He really didn't. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, do you want?
Oh.
Here, Pauly. Here, I'll make you feel at home. Trivia.
I got
What
a random.
former heavyweight fighters, boxers that is, competed in pro wrestling promotions, and they were former heavyweight champions of the world. You're going to see one of them on this show.
Yes. Can I say his name?
Okay, so you can get that one.
Joe Frazier. Okay.
Okay, and then the other.
Well, you mean they actually participated
Well,
in the match?
actually, there'd be three then.
Because
'cause I
Muhammad
guess
Ali was
at
a
the ti-
referee at WrestleMania. He
I
didn't
guess you go
wrestle.
Riddick Bowe. Or I'm
Okay.
sorry. Excuse me. I was going to say Leon Spinks with FMW.
I
For your
I
deep
did not
dive.
realize that was a real trivia question until you finished.
Yeah, Leon Spinks, and then Buster Douglas because he knocked out Mike Tyson. So
Mike
he-
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
I got a random question.
So damn. So that was actually 4. So bad
got a
trivia from Andic, and now he's going to mute himself.
I got a
All right.
random
Very good.
question.
And Antonio Santos, you'd like to say something. Go ahead.
Since this was 1984, was I a twinkle in my dad's eye or a
Oh,
swimming women?
I don't know. Wait, I mean, when?
89.
No.
Oh,
Weren't even a twinkle in your daddy's eye yet. The
He just
idea of me
lost it.
isn't alive
He's loving his own joke. I love it.
Well, TJ
It's-
calls me the Jerry Lawler of the show.
There you
And-
go.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Think about this. If you were the best of the swimmers that came out of your dad that night, I mean, just imagine what the competition was like.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Well, I also call Antonio the Jerry Lawler of the show because I'm sure he has pending lawsuits in other states.
So real quick, TJ, we were just having fun with you a little bit there. This is November '84. What was the date again for Black Saturday? That was earlier in the year, right?
September, I think.
Okay, so it was just before this, really,
Yeah.
2 months before this, when Vince McMahon would show up on TBS television.
And I mean, and they always say, why is Chicago such a unique audience as compared to New York or Atlanta, whatever. Like WWE takes their style to Georgia. And mind you, they have Hogan, they have Andre, they've got, I think Pat Patterson was on a couple of those shows. Atlanta shit on those.
That's because, and if correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they just sending you to matches that were taped other places? Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
were.
that didn't mean nothing to them. That didn't resonate with them.
No.
They wanted the good old boys. They wanted Bo, Luke Duke. They wanted they wanted guys that they knew about.
Cooter.
Cooter.
Letters to the nation saying, "Where's our
Daisy
wrestling?"
and Cooter.
I don't know who those people
What about
are. I want
Enos?
my wrestlers
Enos.
What about Enos? You're forgetting about
Yeah,
Enos.
that's right.
back. Oh, you mean Elvis's cousin? Elvis the pelvis's cousin is Enos.
It's all about
Enos
Enos with
Enos.
Antonio.
No, more about Enos.
Oh.
Real quick.
Whoa, where's
And-
Efren Blackjack?
Antonio's honest if he's nothing else.
You called him the Jerry Lawler of the show. Does that mean he's got women that are 10 years younger than him or 20
Yeah,
years?
he pays for him.
He wishes. Well, I mean, there's that.
He's filling up the bus every day, man. Antonio filling up that
I have
bus.
high standards, Frank.
Circling
Really?
back to the Antonio thing, Antonio, are you still trying to get Spurbies to sponsor the show?
Yes.
I thought it was cummies. I thought
So
we
it's
decided we were going to go with cummies.
Well, everybody's gonna get a box eventually.
Well, hey, Cummies fits all audiences, male and female. So there you go.
Speaking of which, Pauly, what's your address?
No. All right, so we had Jimmy Jack Funk win the belt here. What belt was this again?
Yep.
Jesse
Florida
Barr, he won
Championship?
something.
It said Florida Championship or something.
Florida? Okay. That would
So,
make sense if Mike Graham was in the
yeah.
match.
So we
You know
just
who
saw
was
a
over in
finish.
Florida.
We
Butch
just saw a
was
finish
over
that's
in Florida.
Jesse Barr grabbed the trunks, and then Mike Graham put his feet on the ropes right after that.
This is really difficult to watch with Tennessee Lee. Wow, that's really that's
No,
important.
no, Cole, that's not.
That's
that's not a jump rope.
No, that's not a
an
jump
actual
rope.
Oh, okay, my bad.
There-
My bad.
There's like a ball and gag thing going on in the corner. This is like Thursday night at Antonio Santos' house.
Yeah.
He gets it.
BDSM.
He gets it.
Oh, that's-
BDSM.
It's
rope
too
is-
deep of a dive of Jimmy Jacobs and the blood trickling on him with a white coat. But Brandy, I knew you would know what that I was
For
talking
one
about.
thing,
there.
the rope
You
has to
know
be
I
white.
love myself some.
The rope
Samba
has to be white,
guys.
Antonio.
Yeah, the rope has to be white.
Should be
Okay,
gentle.
and there's Black Bart. That's the guy who Tony Schiavone did. Remember, he did his voice and he said how he was carving his forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun. That was episode 120, by the way, of WHW. One of my favorites they did together.
I was going to ask you about that. That was actually the question to the follow up to the whole Punk thing was that Conrad said something similar in the sense that Punk talked him back in that he had a friend down in, Alabama that had said, "Hey, did you check out this guy in ROH that's like literally tearing the house down?" Is that kind of the story you've heard, or the narrative that you've heard, that like Punk got him back into it, he got you back into it, because he got me back into it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Conrad was a lot more familiar with the ROH product and had buddies that were in there. And I honestly, I didn't really see too much ROH when Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson at the time and CM Punk and Kevin Steen, that man, Ring of Honor. If you go back, you have Tyler Black, who is now Seth Rollins. That Ring of Honor was loaded with so much talent. But if you go back and watch some of his Ring of Honor matches and him and Samoa Joe, I think Conrad's put that over quite a bit.
Summer
The trilogy,
Punk, baby.
there you go. So,
Good.
Summer
It's
of
good
but
stuff.
I had heard about CM Punk just being an indie wrestler, that the WWE was kind of scared, not scared, but they weren't sure about signing because he was out there. But when they finally brought him in, and you remember there for a while, he was kind of like, he was just doing his thing. There was no big hard push. I remember I was at Survivor Series one year in Philly, and it was DX, the Hardys, and CM Punk were
CM
all
Punk.
5 on a team. And the place at the end of that match, I had never heard a louder, it was shaking the arena with those 5 studs in the ring standing tall with their arms up. Like there's the past, the future, the current, like some of my favorite wrestlers all together. But I was just happy that they finally gave CM Punk, he did the pipe bomb, and to see him just skyrocket after that was such a good time in wrestling. You got to think, if CM Punk doesn't walk out, Daniel Bryan doesn't get hurt, those guys are the 2010s, the 2020s of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Saw them at Money in the
It warms
Bank.
my heart.
What's that, Phil?
Yeah,
Go
Phil,
ahead.
you go. Yeah,
I said it warms my heart to know that CM Punk still has the longest title reign in the last 25 years.
Oh, yes. Good point. Yep.
It's hard to believe though that his is longer than Diesel's. I know that sounds weird, but in the mid '90s when everything was less than stellar, Diesel seems like he was champion forever.
Yeah, it seemed like forever.
In the actual fuck are these people?
It's the same,
Just
Frank.
thinking the same thing, Frank.
Frank, it's
Holy
the
smokes.
Zambui Express against Destroyer #1 and Buzz Tyler.
I'm glad you're
I'm
keeping up
sorry.
with this, TJ.
This
The
is
Who,
very
the Who Express?
no
Zambui.
actually, so
First
that's
of all, those
Mr.
are some big men. They ain't express nothing.
No, that's Mr. T. He got stung by like 1,000 bees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Paulie, I know this is your golden era. I guess it's you. You love this.
It's a little early, but yeah, this is right.
But,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
for me, I started in '88 with WWF, and so it's hard for me to go back and watch these old shows where there's
No, I know.
little production value whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's
they
really-
weren't. They didn't care about it back then
Yeah,
at all.
it's like the lighting's horrible. Like
It's
I
kind
mean,
of like modern day independent wrestling in that
Mhm.
there's very little production value. But
But
it's
if you
all
guys think about
what's
it,
in the ring.
This was also the era, though, that you guys that are now big time decision makers for WWE were fans. This is when Triple H, little Paul Levesque, was watching wrestling. He grew up on Crockett. That's why I think you
Mhm.
see he had so much respect for Ric Flair.
Oh, sure.
He's so this is there. But you're right, man. When you have to go back and watch it, this stuff is painful. And it also sucks because we're just watching it as a one-off event and haven't really followed
Right.
the TV and the build-up.
Which
I mean,
one of the
I've never seen this show before, so that's why I was excited to watch it, but I'm
Yeah.
struggling with the production.
Oh
part of
yeah,
it.
I don't. Yeah, I got you.
Brandy and I were the first two on here today, and I was pulling it up, and I said, "Oh, apparently I've watched this before," because like the timer was already over.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like mine was like halfway through. I mean, I was born in 90. I started watching in 92, but I love going back to the older stuff. So like 84, 85, 86, those Starrcades are just the main events are just everything.
By the way, I just saw the Destroyer get in the ring. That is not Jody Hamilton.
No.
He was awful spry.
Did either of these guys wearing the camouflage go on to do? Does anybody know?
Yeah,
Like,
I did a little bit of Brandy research here while she was. I pulled up their the Zimbabwe Express. They were also known. They were also known as the Muslim Connection.
Oh boy!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Yikes!
Oh my god!
That's right. You had a guy, Kareem Muhammad was one of these guys. The duo began to wear camouflage pants and shirts to the ring, adopting the militaristic Muslim in-ring characters based on, to some extent, the Black Panther Party.
Oh,
Making this shit up, guys.
I love this generation.
That went well in the South. I'm sure that did well.
Oh,
So
instant
what you're
heat,
saying is
instant heel.
Colonel the Beers would never team up with them?
Yeah,
No.
with Mr. Black in the if anybody has that UWF belt, that's the only belt I want. By the way, I just
Which
want to
one?
make that
Which one?
the Sports Channel one.
At
Okay.
Carl X Mandic on Twitter.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah. If
go
anybody,
through the guy. Go through the guy I just went through. He'll
I was
make
gonna
it
say,
for
I
you.
wonder if he can make that.
Because we tried to
They
eBay
can
that
make
one.
anything.
Couldn't
No
find
way.
it.
You want me
Guys,
to,
last-
I'll
last-
send you his info. Go ahead.
Last
Colin.
thing on the Zimbabwe Express here, the Muslim Connection. After they lose here, because they're going to lose. Sorry for the spoiler. I know you're all disappointed.
Damn it.
They would split up permanently a short time later after this. So this was the downfall of Abdullah and Abdullah II here. This crazy Zimbabwe tag team.
I was really hoping one of them joined Men on a Mission or became Mr. Hughes. Like I was really hoping like there was something in there that there was like some lineage that we had like a Jesse Bar, and then we got, oh, check it out, back to
Hey,
back.
which one of them went on to become the Shawn Michaels and which was the Marty Jannetty?
Well, one of these guys was he would
Over
return to his
time.
he would return to his gimmick. One of these guys, Leroy Brown. So he went back to a much simpler time in his
so
life
he's
and said,
coming out to Jim Croce and he's bad Leroy Brown.
Leroy Brown.
"There you go."
We
There you
need
go.
to stop being the same person, Frank. Jesus Christ.
Who is the
worst
manager?
wrestler in the
Same
whole
spot.
damn
That's
town.
Paul Jones.
Paul
guys
Jones
outside
looks
each other?
very much like Jimmy Johnson of the U and Dallas Cowboys. His hair is very.
Very
Oh,
perfect.
Paul Jones was always about that.
I was not aware of him.
You know what's fun is
Oh my god.
When I
Yeah, I
first-
was not.
when I first started watching WCW, I thought when I saw the Blue Bloods, which was Regal, Earl Robert Eaton,
Or
and
Squire David Taylor.
Squire David Taylor, but it was before David Taylor got there. It was they had that the I don't remember the guy's name
Oh,
anymore. What they call
Jeeves.
not Jeeves.
The first
I don't remember
one?
Jeeves,
Oh,
but they had like a man. Like that's all I did was manage.
yeah.
Forever,
Oh, that-
I thought it was Paul Jones.
Yeah,
I
that
just-
was
Bill
what's his
Dundee.
name from Memphis? Yeah, superstar Bill Dundee.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bill Dundee. Yes.
it was Sir William or something like that.
Yep.
Imagine.
William, that was
Could you
his name.
imagine being approached as Jameson after doing like theater in Connecticut, and Vince coming up to you and being like, "Hey, pal, how about a job?" Or however that. I just want to be a fly on the wall for how Jameson got hired. That's
When-
what I want to know.
I just listened to something the wrestle about the Bushwhackers, and when they said that Jameson was an actor, like it blew my mind.
He was mentioned in a previous one too. I'm trying to think.
Yes,
of the,
I want to say that was like primetime wrestling or something.
Yeah,
Well, he was the co-host
Is
for
it-
Bobby Heenan for a while.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it was definitely in an episode where they're all were already talking about Gorilla and Bobby.
Mhm.
that's it.
It has to be primetime wrestling.
Well, guys, while we were talking there, this match ended, and I know all of you are disappointed.
Ah, shit.
Anybody see who
Um,
won?
It was not the Express. It was the
Oh,
other
it was
team.
Buzz Tyler and not
Ass-
Jody Hamilton.
Assassin. Yeah,
Yeah, the not Jody Hamilton.
Masked Assassin. Is that what they were calling him? Is what's
So-
his name here? Rocking a velour jacket? Is that what Gordon
It's-
Soley
It
is?
certainly looks. It's either velour or corduroy. I can't tell with
I
the camera.
I
quality-
don't think
camera
that's
quality.
corduroy because the texture's not correct.
And he got a
Again,
nice boutonniere there too for the
Getting ready to
event.
go to prom after
Oh,
this.
It's a big. It's Starrcade.
Right.
I was gonna say textures and like fabrics have a whole thing going on here. If you think back to the previous Starrcade,
Lordy.
Roddy
Get me
Piper
started on
complaining about the wool dog collar against Greg the Hammer, and look at how young Tony is.
I
boy.
love
Oh,
Dream is
boy.
just he's
Oh my God,
sitting
if
in
they
the
give
corner.
his
He's
jacket.
got his
We need
jacket
guys. We need that
halfway
jacket.
on.
We need that jacket. I mean,
Yes.
eBaying it right now.
Yes. Find that jacket.
I really wish.
Maybe nerds could do a Dusty jacket like that with a
Yes.
star.
Yes.
Real
I
quick,
would
guys.
buy that.
Go ahead,
Over
Mike
un-
Kolb.
let-
Breaking news.
Let's set up an over/under on how old Tony Schiavone is here without looking it up.
Whew.
TJ likes to do this from time to time.
Yeah.
Paulie's
What are
not
you
allowed to
setting
play
the-
because he knows the answer already.
What are you setting the over/under number at?
Let's set the over/under at 28.
Over.
And a half.
Under.
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 I'm saying under.
Okay.
And by the
I
way,
wanna
you
say
have
it's
to
like
do
26 here.
you have to do something into half,
Don't-
otherwise they can push.
That's fine. So, okay, 27 and a half. We'll set
Thank
it
you.
at.
Under.
Still going under.
Under.
That is under.
Over.
I come from a land down under.
Like
He's
them
20.
London.
He's exactly 27.
Oh wow.
He claims to be 25, but
Mm.
he's 27.
So is it a
Well,
button on
Tony
a fur
claims to be
coat?
25 now.
I really
Okay.
need to get the capability to play sound on here because Dusty Rhodes is shredding, and I
Yeah,
can't
we
hear it,
should-
and it's bothering
if we
me.
could track it, it would be fantastic.
Now-
If you watch nothing from this show, because it's
Yeah,
not
but-
that great, but you need to pick out the Dusty segment, the Ric Flair segment, and the $1 Million Challenge match.
Here's what I love about Dusty Rhodes. He's sitting in the locker room with Tony Schiavone. He's wearing a jacket backwards with one sleeve,
halfway on.
like a blankie.
and he's still the coolest fucking guy in the locker room. Like it's not even close.
Absolutely.
Listen, Antonio asked about the button on a fur coat. I think Tony's 27 here. I think it was more like a snake in the grass. Don't you think?
There you
Oh.
go. There you go.
Look at you. Very good.
Thank you for
Hey,
that, Frank.
Frank, I hate to break it to you, but Tony doesn't watch this show.
I'm not proud of. Look,
You didn't say what
But-
kind of
it's
snake.
just me. I could care less.
He's trying to put Tony over because Tony's my dad. I eventually convinced him and Lois to adopt me. So he's trying to put over my dad so that when he asks him for my hand in marriage, that there's not going to be a problem.
Also-
I will put over anybody that's good to me, whether they watch this show or not. That's just
What,
If-
hold on. Who's asking you for your hand in marriage, Brandy? I missed that. Who's going to ask
Well,
for your hand in marriage?
Mark
Frank.
Nelson. Mark
Oh, Frank
Nelson.
Bruno. Oh, well, okay, Frank. Well, good for you.
I've done it twice. I don't think the third time's gonna be.
Well,
a
there'll
problem.
be a Top Guy theater wedding, kind of like a wrestling wedding in the
yeah.
future. Here.
And
So
we
wait,
need to
if it's
find
okay-
someone to make a run in and attack Frank with a snake.
I can
I
see
was
Carl.
just about to say
Carl,
that.
you have to be the minister. You have to be the minister. For this.
yeah. No. Well, I was gonna get. You said okay, Frank. I was gonna get okay, go to play the wedding.
Mm.
So we'll get that. We'll get
Well
a bunch
done.
of dudes on treadmills just running. So we'll get that, and then from there, thank God for Sid Justin. Yeah. As long as we get a snake, well, no, Mike, I kind of
Yes.
feel like you're responsible for the snake to pop out of something. Like out of nowhere. I don't want to come out of a box or come out of a
Well,
cage.
someone just talked
or-
about Tony's trouser snake back in the day.
Yeah, I guess somebody's got to have one. You know what? I can minister it as long as Mike, we can rig me up with like a exploding snake gimmick out of the pants. Right
of the
as they like
pants.
I'll be,
I like
be
how he
like the
says
dude
out
from,
of the pants.
out of the pants.
I'll be like
So-
the dude from the wedding singer.
What do you guys think has happened less? Shenanigans
lost
during
it.
a contract signing or shenanigans during a wedding in the ring?
Shenanigans during a wedding. Because no wrestling wedding goes off without a
No.
hitch.
So
Never
what the
happened.
last one we saw was what, Lana, when she hugged Bobby Lashley and all his makeup rubbed off on her face. Do you guys remember that when she had like
Yes.
a stain on her forehead?
Yes, and Liv Morgan came out because Lana was cheating on Bobby Lashley with Liv Morgan.
Now, why could we have not explored that angle a little bit more? I mean, come on.
I mean, honestly, if you're given the options of
Liv and Lana?
Rusev, Lashley, or Liv Morgan, I'm picking Liv Morgan.
I could have painted my room all white.
Would you?
Oh my
sure you
God,
would've-
Antonio.
I'm sure you would have spray painted that room, pal.
Would you have preferred if you could do a watch along, let's say, of the NSFW variety, Lana and Liv, or would you do Beulah and who was
Kimona.
was that Kimona?
Kimono
Kimono
Wanna
Wanna
Leia.
Leia.
Beulah and Kimono Wanna Leia.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I could paint a house.
I'm asking for the double feature.
Oh,
I'll just take a solo of Alexa Bliss and be happy.
there you go. Paulie's going to the drive-in. We just found out.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in on Alexa Bliss too, pal. I'm with you, Mike. How about how hot and sexy they're really starting to push both Sasha and Carmella.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Mhm.
Oh my
Absolutely.
god.
Well, on that note,
So
I gotta get to
Antonio,
work.
what are you planning to start your wedding plans for Thunder Rosa, who you are quite clearly in love with?
It was
20,
adorable.
20,
Who's
54.
not? 20.
Hey, wait a minute. How long was Thunder Rosa
A
on
real-
for
An
the
hour.
show? Was she? Oh, okay.
an hour.
Cool.
The look on Antonio's face when Rosa came on and he tried to talk to her was like seeing the cutest, most adorable little puppy you've ever imagined get picked out and go home. He was just like, I'm so nervous right now. I'm sorry.
I was trying not to be dirty.
And we know it takes a lot of effort for you
No.
to do that.
Yeah, I know. I was
He
thinking-
wasn't. He wasn't talking about painting any walls or anything during
No.
that one.
No.
I take it.
Oh, soon,
Maybe.
no, soon as she left, it was
He
all.
was thinking it, but
Oh yeah.
So
He
let's
was not
do a
saying.
time code here. We're at 48, 17, 18, 19. Bizarre. That this is the first match we've seen Juice in. Not Bizarre. It's Manny Fernandez.
definitely not bizarre.
His forehead always looked like
Just
it was a pincushion.
yeah. Also, there's no way JJ Dillon. He's definitely wearing a jacket with tails.
Hey
Yes.
guys, by the way, they're fighting for the NWA Brass Knuckles Championship. I know we're all familiar with that one.
I have that title.
Isn't
I
that
like-
the one? Wasn't that the one that Bruiser Brody won? Or
Your
is that a
guess is
different
as good as
Brass
mine.
Knuckles title?
If
On
I
that
remember
note-
right, 'cause I think we actually see the belt at the end of this match. I think there's just like an actual set of brass knucks just like welded to the front of a belt.
Oh
Did
yeah,
somebody
like they
finally-
just slapped a pair of brass knuckles onto the belt.
Right. I see the one that I don't like and I thought was just very distasteful. Like just overall in our current culture going forward is, and not to go on a diatribe, I just thought the Knuckle Children Championship of Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods on the NXT women's title. I didn't think that one was very. I just didn't sit with me well. You know, I
The
don't
old
know what
Knuckle
it was.
Shuffle title. The old
Yeah.
Knuckle Shuffle title.
Ah,
know-
Knuckle Shuffle
You know,
time.
to add to that, Carl, Pauly, since you're the only one here that actually has CT's phone number, can we see if he's got that used belt?
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Conrad, Mike
Lord.
Kolb wants to know, do you have the Knuckle Shuffle Championship?
All right, next ask Conrad. I'm asking him that.
Guys,
All
I
right.
did a little brandy research here. Manny Fernandez, okay, was the old Knuckle Shuffle. Oh, now you got me saying it all the time now.
Well, on
Knuckle Shuffle champion.
that note, the bang bus doesn't drive itself. I gotta go ask you.
See you, Antonio.
Oh,
Say-
Antonio, we love you. I hope you have some energy left after painting that room, pal. Enjoy the bus ride.
Alrighty.
Title of the
Anyway.
sex tape.
Mm.
Yeah, right. So Manny, he's the Knuckle Shuffle champion here. Black Bart would go on to win it in Raleigh in '85, January, and then Ron Bass would be your last Knuckle Shuffle champion, and then it would be deactivated. So little lineage on the old Knuckle Shuffle title.
So apparently it just swarmed around 3 people.
It's it. Yep, just the 3 of them just all went back and forth with it like it was a circle jerk Twinkie or something. It was crazy.
Oh,
The NWA Brass Knuckles Championship. That's the official title.
Oh my god.
which we can now call the soggy bread title.
Oh, jeez.
So what you're
Wait.
saying is this one got passed around like a groupie or a ring rat after.
When this is
so-
uploaded to YouTube, do you put like not for kids? Do you have to
Absolutely.
check that? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
just
100%.
making Sure. Yeah.
Would Kyoto wear this all blue suit here?
The jumpsuit.
Yeah, with the whole deal. What the
those
hell
bell
is going on here?
I mean, it's perfect if you're working at like a garage because you can
Wait.
go.
Guys,
pump
how
in
about
the
that
garage,
camera
go
shot
rest
right
the
there?
mattress,
That's- I
and then
love
go
that.
back to change the
That
oil.
is a classic camera shot right
I love
there.
it.
First time they took it all show.
Yeah.
Can I?
No,
can-
it's second
can I
time. They
a-
took it during the
Oh, did
Denny
they?
Brown match. I know we're all paying
Oh.
attention, but
I've got a legit, real question to ask here. Legit.
Okay.
Like,
Uh-oh.
so do you think was the NWA testing people back in '84?
no.
Oh hell
No
no.
way.
So no, we're talking about 1984, which was the height of the AIDS pandemic, right? So this dude is bleeding right now. Do you think he was tested for anything?
No.
Do you think anybody even thought about it? Probably not.
I mean, back then, this is when everyone
There
thought
it
it was
is.
like,
Match is
was-
over, guys.
Yeah, it was
I mean-
People thought that you could get HIV if you just kissed somebody, or if
Abdul
if
the Butcher
somebody
gave someone
sneezed
hepatitis
on
like
you.
10 years ago.
Hey,
Hannibal.
you can't
up
fake
in-
hepatitis.
That's
So
I have that
I didn't-
T-shirt.
I didn't mean to make it weird. I'm just
No.
saying. You think about '84. Look,
Yeah.
they're
No, I don't
they're
think they
touching
even-
him too.
Yes.
Like,
I
yeah.
don't think they
They're
thought
trying
about
to,
it
and he's
because-
slapping 5 and he's got blood on his hand.
oh yeah, like I mean, like I'm thinking about this.
Oh,
It was just
yeah.
popped in my head. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker.
By the way, the referee was a Memphis
Motherfucker.
legend, Roughhouse Fargo.
Oh wow.
Oh my. Rough House Fargo.
So can
Here's
my
the
re-
thing.
can my re-
no,
wait,
no,
wait.
Frank, you're
Can my-
completely right on this. I want you to keep going with this because
But
I
I was gonna say, can my ref name be Fat Fuck Frank?
Oh my God.
You got Wells. What did you call him? Wells Fargo. What now?
Roughhouse Fargo.
Oh,
Rough House.
Roughhouse Fargo. So I'll be Fat Fuck Frank.
He was the admitted brother of Don Fargo and Jackie Fargo.
Oh. So do you
Oh
think
my
Jackie
God.
taught him to do the strut?
That's 100% true. He would only come out for attraction matches. And the reason, because it was the 60s and the 70s, so how they got around him being so small, because you see him in the ref, he's not that big, was he was clinically insane.
Wow.
Now, if you look at the way that pin was, that's how you actually got AIDS, right? Because you, anyway.
Yeah, you
Well,
see
no,
thin
like,
guys
but
that.
on a serious note, 84 to
Sorry.
88. No, Frank, you're right. Because I showed my stepdad some of the stuff, and he was in residency, right? Doing his like going through Rush in Chicago, and he's like, it was scary as hell. Like it was really, really frightening. As
it
like
was.
I would be a resident doctor because he was there. Yeah, he was at USC. So like he even got tickets, free tickets. He didn't go UIC Pavilion to that would have been Chi-Town Rumble 88.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but he because I was like, did you go? He's like, no, I didn't go.
There's actually, even if you're not a NASCAR fan, which I am, there's a really good 30 for 30 on this driver from the 80s and the early 90s called Tim Richmond.
That one's very good.
And he was supposed to be like the next Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
But the difference between him and what made him stand out was instead of being like this very reserved Southern boy, he was this city slicker from Ohio, but claimed he was from New York. And like he had this, and then he ended up dying of AIDS in like 1990 in a sport that's based in the South, and that shit still wasn't cool yet. So he had to hide it. So like you see his career go from like, you know, this promising young driver. He didn't disappear, but he was out hurt for like a year and a half or something like that. Came back for a little bit, became an announcer, and then died during like the 1990 Daytona 500 at the
Wow.
'Cause
hospital.
Everyone,
Like it's
everyone
crazy
thought it
shit.
was a gay disease. That's what they thought.
And he wasn't
Yeah.
gay, but I mean that that was the
Right.
stigma. That was the
if
stigma.
you watch Dallas Buyers Club is the movie that resonates with me, and I believe it was a true story.
Yeah.
And again, I'm so sorry I took this down to like a super serious track.
No,
I'm
I
just-
mean that's what's part of what makes this show great is because we can watch wrestling, shit on it, have fun, and then at the same time turn around and have real serious, in-depth conversations. So please.
Because
continue.
let's be honest, even if we haven't heard this Ricky Steamboat promo, we've heard this Ricky Steamboat promo. So
And
go ahead.
Don't worry, Frank. I can always. Well, I'll bring us back up after you're done bringing us down.
Yes.
No, Frank, that's a perfect segue because I did want to ask the group at least this. I know I've been a little biatch about Green Bay and everything. Did anybody see the announcement about Dark Side of Football or NFL that's coming out, Vice, Hulu?
What?
No, but that is fucking epic.
Yeah, so like that's a thing. That's a real like because
Yeah.
there was a tweet. There was like this like cryptic tweet of guess what we're filming, and then it's this shadowy figure. You have to guess at it. I think it's Ray Lewis and the night that
The murder, yeah.
the
that all
murder happened.
happened.
I think that's what the imagery is of because you see this SUV and you see a guy standing next to it, broad shoulders, and the
But
purple
what if
background.
it's Aaron Hernandez?
Could be Aaron Hernandez. I'm
See,
just saying.
my thing with Aaron Hernandez that to death. Like I've seen like 4
The
documentaries.
Netflix one was really good. Yeah.
The
It was very
Netflix
good.
one was really
yes,
good.
that one was
Yeah.
solid.
So okay, let's. Now
So
I'm
they
interested in this. I'm
They're
fascinated
probably
by
going to
this.
talk about the Steve McNair murder too. Then.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you guys, there
boy.
is a one of my favorite podcasts is Crime and Sports,
Mm.
and they have a Patreon you can join for as low as $1, and you can get the bonus content. And they just did a bonus content on Steve Aaron McNair.
Yeah, I've listened to I've listened. There's a whole podcast series on that. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is when that happened, Steve McNair was like my football hero. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sensitive guy. I cried, and one of my so-called best friends made fun of me for years. It's like, you're a big pussy. You cried over somebody you don't know. And then his sports hero died last January. His name was Kobe Bryant, and he started crying, and I patted him on the back, gave him a hug, and I said, "Now you know how I felt, brother." And he looked at me and he's like, "Holy shit." So, when you really, really care about somebody or you're invested in something as much as I was in Steve,
Mhm.
I still have his poster. I have Eddie George's poster. Like, I love the guy. So, it's
Frank,
yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, Frank, you mentioned Steve McNair, and that's one of those deaths when I heard about it, I remembered exactly where I was at when my mom, believe it or not, walked out. We were outside on the porch and said, Steve McNair was just shot and killed. And it was just like, what?
I know.
It's one of those unforgettable moments.
I was shocked too. Like,
I'm fascinated by this show, The Dark Side of the NFL, because there's a lot of ground to cover.
Oh,
So,
there's so much meat on the bone for
if
that topic. Hell yeah.
all of us, with the exception of Phil, are NFL fans. So I want to do around the horn. Let's exclude the two obvious ones, which is Hernandez and Ray Lewis. What shows would you want to be covered? Because there's a lot.
So real quick, we can take this in a couple directions, because I just read an article. It says Vice orders dark side spinoffs on football and 90s pop culture. So
wow.
Just say by the pot.
They're just diving in on you, Paul.
They're stealing our gimmick. They're stealing our gimmick.
Oh, that's neat.
Just
take that.
I'm gonna go away from Steve McNair, and I think I want to know more about. Is it Ray Carruth? Is he the
Ray Carruth,
Carolina.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Good one.
And
Believe it or not, guys.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Even though I'm a non-football fan, I would watch an episode about Michael Vick.
Yeah,
that's
yes.
another good one.
That's
That's
good.
another good one, because that's got a lot of layers to it. I mean, people think but there's a lot of layers to it. It's
They
not
did a
just
30
one.
for 30 on that one.
I
Didn't
couldn't
they?
get it's the only one I couldn't get through.
30 for 30.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through it. I got through Night
watched it.
Stalker and I couldn't
I
get
mean,
through
I could
Vic.
only, it's one of those things I could only watch once, but it was very well done.
Ray
it
Carruth
was
is
really
solid. That's a good one.
For 90s pop culture, I'm more honestly
River Phoenix.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Either River Phoenix or Kurt Cobain.
That's a good one.
I think Cobain's the obvious. I think River would be a great dark horse.
Yeah, because they haven't done much with River Phoenix. It's weird.
No, and I really want them to talk about him, because I think Joaquin is like, he either just had a child or is going to have a child, and he named it River.
Yeah. All right, I'll let somebody else go.
So we got Ray Carruth and Michael Vick, two solid ones. Who's up next?
I have mine, but I wanted to go last, but I can go if you guys want me to go now.
Yeah, I was
ahead.
gonna
Yeah,
go.
'cause
I
I
was
gotta
gonna
think.
wait to go last too.
So
no, Mike, you go last.
No. Mine probably aren't as big as yours, or maybe these are going to be more curveballs. I want to know more about Jordan's dad dying.
Thank
You
you.
know, that's something that jumps out in my head. And then for 90s pop culture, there's two stories that are going to be kind of, well, one's really creepy, that there's got to be more dirt out there. It would topple a whole network if it did. But I feel like there's some dark side. Have you guys heard the dark side of like the Nickelodeon stuff back in the day?
Yes.
No.
Like,
Yes.
No.
So what's his face from Nickelodeon? You guys probably know his name. But he's like one
Mark
of the
Summers?
big guy. Mark, no, it's not Mark Summers.
Not a
Double
host.
I'm gonna look it up. It's the producer guy that was on everything, and he had like the thing that is well known is that he had a thing for feet, and so like he would even get pictures of like the young girls on Nickelodeon's feet. It was so
Well,
weird.
It's why they had that thing in the obstacle course with the 8 at the end of Double Dare with
Dan
the
Schneider.
8 flags. They had the
Dan
they had
Schneider.
they had the feet coming down, and it's why GAC got its name, because GAC was a self-described. It was before what's known as like an upper and a downer. So like what Chris Farley died of heroin and cocaine. So like it's
Like a speedball?
a whack ball. Yeah, speedball. Yeah, speedball. And they would call it GAC. So GAC came from that, and that got transferred into, and that's not lore like the kid that had pop rocks, then drank pop and died type of like lore. That's like legit stuff. Like that's not.
Yeah.
But yes, Mike, that one you knocked out of the park. That one I didn't even think of because I didn't even want to go that deep. But yes, that's a great.
Then, to add on to the pop culture side of things, and this is just as recent memory because of Saved by the Bell, but you hear a lot of stories about what happened behind the scenes between Mark Paul Gosselaar and what's his face, the producer for Saved by the Bell, and Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I feel like there's some stories there, and those are only because those are the, you know, I grew up to it with Jordan, right? I remember the game Jordan played after his dad died, right? All that stuff. So just those are what jumps out in my head, and unfortunately, the one is extremely creepy.
The one for me for the NFL that I would pick would be Javon Belcher. That would be a sad one. That would be heavy.
I don't even know who that is. What is that?
That's a big one.
He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he.
Oh, is he the one that killed his girlfriend?
He killed his girlfriend, and then he went to the facility
and killed himself.
And killed himself in front of coaches and play. Like Romeo Cornell was trying to talk him down.
So bad.
Oh yeah, that was just like 15 years ago, wasn't it?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. It was 2012.
It was a linebacker. Jeez, I'm terrible at time.
Yeah.
But he was a linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just for a fun one, the Minnesota Vikings love boat scandal.
Yes. Yes. John Randall just putting the eye black under.
Yes, but it's like, yes.
And then Sable with it on. Cross her areolas. Sable, come here. Blank at me. Eugene Robinson the night before the Super Bowl of the Falcons and Broncos. Yep. Chris Henry falling out of the back of the pickup truck.
Yes,
and then we'll go into the 90s Spice Girls and into...
Spice Girls, what happened with them?
I think there's more there than meets the eye. Just going to leave it at that.
I just know I wanted to be in an orgy with all of them. That's all.
Okay.
Yo, you want to like rumble my Triscuits just a bit? Fumble around
Another
rumpkins.
good one playing off of that would be the Backstreet Boys. Because there was a lot of shady shit going on with their record label in the beginning and Ron Perlman. And that would be a good one.
And you could do New Kids on the Block right there
yes,
too.
New Kids on the Block.
But no, and the other 90s one, damn, Mike, that one, that is the Grand Slam. I've always wanted to know, because that's all I wanted to do was be a Nickelodeon host.
That explains a lot.
Yep.
You know what? Boy Meets World might, no, I don't think they have anything. Actually, I'm good. I'm good now. Spice Girls probably terrible walk-off, but there it is.
So
it's all right. I saved you with the Backstreet Boys.
I saw your Steelers garb earlier, so
yeah.
What do you got for us, Pauly?
I've been sitting here trying to think of something that I would like to see an expose on.
Mike Webster?
There's a lot.
Yeah, the concussion deal, right? Yeah, everything that happened there. I don't know. I'm trying to think. A lot of drama in the NFL. Man, I'm not going to go there. But even with my own Steelers back in the day, there was some stuff with Roethlisberger and things that went on behind the scenes there. I'm trying to think though, what else major event, because a lot of the ESPN 30, I feel like ESPN 30 for 30 has dug into some of the stuff. I know we mentioned Michael Vick.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I am going to be interested to see what they come up with, though. You know, you guys have mentioned a lot of good ones. The Steve McNair, the Vikings, the whole boat deal, some of those things. So I'll just be interested to see some of the other topics that they come up with. Yeah, and more so than that, as we see Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man in his tuxedo,
It's
is
the Boogie Woogie Man,
the
baby.
stuff that we aren't aware of that they dig up and could become a show topic. I'm interested to see that. And then I think too, there was probably some drama. You know, Mike Cole mentioned Saved by the Bell. Well, what about same type of thing, 90210, and some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes of that show? That was really the decade.
Lots of booger sugar.
Show. Yeah, lots of booger sugar, right? So I wouldn't mind seeing some
Speaking
stuff
of that, what about, I don't remember when Charmed ran, but I know there was a lot of drama on the backstage of that show with Shannon Doherty.
Isn't she drama in a nutshell?
Yeah,
she is drama in a nutshell.
She's the common denominator from both those shows.
Yep, because she had problems with Jenny McCarthy,
Jenny Garth,
Jenny Garth, and then she went on to Charmed for like her second life, and she had problems with the girls on Charmed. And
listen, by the way, real quick, you mentioned that Dan Schneider guy. He was also the kid that was in from Nickelodeon. He was Dennis on Head of the Class. For those that remember Head of the Class, Dennis, that's Dan Schneider, the same guy that went over and worked with Nickelodeon.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he was an actor on Head of the Class. I thought so.
So my NFL one was going to be Dewerson, Ray Easterling, and Mike Webster, but you guys kind of stole my thunder with that because they were the first three big time CTE, cases, especially Dewerson. When Dewerson happened, that shook the foundation. It changed the game. So I will go deep cut to the 1950s, and I will do Washington trading. Well, the NFL making Washington trade for Bobby Mitchell because the NFL, their owner was an incredible racist, refused to have any black people on his team, and the NFL made him trade for Bobby Mitchell. It's actually one of the more fascinating stories you can read about because it's just crazy. They got him from Cleveland. Wow. And then for 90s pop culture, whenever I hear something like that, I just think the rise and fall of Screech.
Yeah.
Or you can do the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
What the hell happened with that?
Mighty Ducks. I've seen Adam Banks is a bartender right where Efren actually used to live. I know that Pauly, he's dropped on the show that he went to, or his drama teacher was an extra in Saved by the Bell. His drama teacher, right? She had the dark glasses in the graduation episode.
Yep. Sure.
Adam Banks is in his old neck of the woods as a bartender. I went in there. Quick Steelers story just to get in. Steelers WOA. So real quick, I was getting bumpers for the radio station at Ball State. Mean Joe Green walks past me. We're at the Combine, 05. It was the year that Maurice Claret ran a super slow 40. It was so bad that somebody yelled, "Get a sundial." No joke, out loud. Like one of the scouts goes, "Get a sundial." Like it was like an old Barker's carnival. But no, he comes by and I'm like, "Mr. Green," and it wasn't like the Coke, hey kid, hey Mean Joe. And I'm like, "Hey, can you say this for me?" And I had it written down and like a tape recorder. And he's like, "Okay, this is 91.3 WCRD, balls to the walls, sports coverage, Ball State University." And that is not what was written on there, but he just read that and I'm like, "That was good. Thank you. I'll take that." Like, I just got out of there. And that was one of the cooler, I forgot that he had passed. But he'd be a cool one if they could do like a positive one.
Yeah, you have to have good ones as well as
because he was larger than life. That commercial and the whole Coke thing. That was him, right? Throwing the jersey.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah. And that's kind of where they took that. They riffed that in the WWF with Brett
Yeah.
and I love that spot to this
Oh.
day.
Wait, Frank, do you really not know what happened to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
No, I didn't. I don't.
So was it
Oh.
the Green Ranger?
Who's the most downloaded woman? The pink one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Amy Jo Johnson.
Amy
Yeah.
Jo
Amy Jo
Johnson,
Johnson.
AJJ.
Yeah.
But
I
I think
I
the
know the
Green
green
Ranger
one
is in
was-
prison for life.
No, that's Jason David Frank, and he's not. That was a Red Ranger
he
on a
actually,
that was a Red Ranger
Right.
on a further season, and yes, because he was a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the original Rangers from like.
Oh no,
95.
they're the only no. There's nothing on the original.
They're sweethearts. They're
They're
America's idols.
wonderful.
You know, there's
But
another
the
The
OG,
there's another
murderer is
the
from
OG
a later
right.
Red Ranger.
there's another 90s
the
one.
OG Yellow Ranger. I can't remember what her name was, but she died.
Trini. Yeah, Trini.
That's right.
Sorry,
There's-
I'm an MMPR nerd.
No, I was
There's-
to say, how
there's
about
another 90s.
Well, I was to say, yeah, Frank,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Carl.
hit it. No, you
No,
hit it.
well,
Yeah, I know you're.
I
in
don't.
a, you
This
got
is just silly because I was such a huge fan of the show, but was huge controversy when the first mother on Fresh Prince left the show.
Oh
Mm,
yes.
that's right.
Oh, what about the rumor about the two dads dating? That Family Matters and Fresh Prince dads were.
Oh, I didn't
No
know that.
way! I never heard that before.
Yeah, that
Carl-
one, and then
Carl, and Phil, Uncle Phil.
Yeah, yeah.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, so there was that rumor, and then I was saying, on top of that, I was going to go. You guys mentioned already. Jenny Garth was originally casted,
Mhm.
or was going to be up against Tiffany Amber Thiessen for Kelly Kapowski, and then this guy committed suicide. Sequest, not
Seacrest
Brian
out?
O'Sea- Yeah, no, not Seacrest, but
Seacrest out.
Sequest. And I just blanked on it, but he got casted as Zach Morris in the original one because the original one was Jonathan Brandis, Brian Austin Green,
Yeah.
and Jaleel White as Screech. Was the
Yep.
original cast of Saved by the Bell.
I
Now-
don't
But
I don't mean to
ahead.
interrupt, but we have a special request for the show for Pauly. So I'm getting ready to take a fan question. He wants to come on the show, and he wants to ask you a question. So let's bring him in. Our fan question for Pauly B. Live from the
I knew who this was. I knew who it was.
Thanks, Geraldo. It's great
Oh
to
my
be here.
God.
Second time caller, long time listener. I have a question for your guest, if that's okay.
absolutely.
Lauren, it's really a pleasure to be and to free shows like yourself. You know, being an insider like yourself, you know, I can relate. Like these watch-alongs you do, they're very watch-along, and everyone can watch along, and you don't have any of that toilet humor. But my question is, seeing how my membership is due tomorrow, do I have to pay a friendship tax tomorrow? Because if I do, I'm out. And I'll take my call off the air because I have some more important things to deal with.
What in the
I
hell
love-
was
I
that?
I
love you,
love him.
Efren. I
love
love
him.
you.
Oh my God.
He
I-
actually
I-
asked me last night to do that.
You know, he never ceases to amaze me. Oh my goodness, that guy. Oh, never mind. No words. No words.
You guys met at Low Key Big Hog Weekend.
We did. That's where we first met, and yeah, and the rest is history. It's funny because there were so many guys there. We all kind of just hung out, and I didn't necessarily get to hang out with him a ton. But then after that event, he would just DM me, "Hey, Pauly, how are you? It was good to see you." And we just started small talk, and before you know, I talk to Efren or hear from Efren multiple times daily now. And that's my life in a nutshell. We're doing a show together, Saved by the Pod, and yeah, it's always a good time. You never know what to expect with Efren, and I like that.
I can't wait for the
Say-
college years called Small Talk.
Saved by the Pod. That's a pod. Okay, that's a podcast. Now I
It
get
is.
Okay.
It is. It's a podcast. Yep, and that's where it all started for Pauly B.
they're not Tide
Life
Pods,
podcast
right?
is it's a journey into the minds and hearts of. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
that's the other one.
Wrong podcast. Sorry.
I'm glad that you can say that Efren messages you multiple times a day because I always feel like I'm bothering you, Pauly, when I text you.
Well, that's because you are.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. You're not. You're good. You're fine, Mike. You can hit me up whenever.
Oh, game on.
Oh boy.
Dude, you don't know what you
That's
just did.
danger.
I'm just kidding. No, Mike's a good guy. Mike's a helper. Hey, I just did the Kyoto thing and he helped me out big time. So I got to give him some props.
No, I will say this, guys, for everybody saying that Pauly B made a mistake. Pauly and I had a conversation very similar to what Frank and I's conversation was like. And Pauly was like, you need to promise me you will never prank me. And we came to a mutual understanding. We'll just say that.
I had to give a little to get, but we worked out a peace treaty. So that's good.
We're still not sure how Mrs. Pauly B feels about what Pauly had to give up, but it's all good.
Well, if it's anything like what TJ had to give up for Mrs. TJ, I'm sure she will be very happy.
I gave up Mrs. TJ. That was.
There is no more Mrs. TJ.
Yeah.
So you became a top guy, and she found her way out the house.
Yeah, she became a bottom. But
what the?
It's okay because she was becoming more popular on the show than I was anyway. So I had to get her out of here.
Speaking of which, get her to come downstairs.
I can hear her walking around up right now. I don't know what she's doing.
I'm messaging her.
Okay.
Yeah,
See?
get me down here.
So for the
Wow.
record, when Frank was like, guys, can I ask you a serious question? I really thought he was going to follow that with, is it true if you don't use it, you lose it? Like, I really thought that was coming.
But 40-year-old virgin? Are you serious? No.
Just so you know, there's nothing coming around here.
You're talking about the Cincinnati bow tie or the.
By the way, I did have
Alligator
another
fuck
serious
house.
question.
Yeah.
So the last match, right, was a tuxedo match.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought when you got the tuxedo pulled off you lost, but there was an actual pinfall in this match.
Well, to be fair,
I'm really
Paul Jones'
confused.
shoes were still on.
But why was there a pinfall then?
I don't know.
Wait, there was a tuxedo match?
It was
Yeah.
a tuxedo match.
It's when we were doing our 90s pop culture and dark side of the football field. Yep.
I mean, you
I was-
honestly didn't miss anything because nobody really wants to see Paul Jones like
In his
pulled
underwear?
out of his-
Apparently,
Carl,
it was 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and Paul Jones won. That's all you need to know.
I was
Carl, I
working
got
on
you
my,
beat, buddy.
my February prank for Henry, so I'm sorry.
Carl's showing off his Sour Patch Kids. I was gonna be like, I got you beat with my minis, my York
Oh,
peppermint
good.
patties, baby.
I was at the store last week and I was walking by the candy and I saw the giant bag of Sour Patch Kids and I'm
Bad.
just like, click.
It's a bad addiction.
Like,
And
I'm imagining
tomorrow.
Frank's conversation, and I'm only saying this, Frank, because you've told us that you're not supposed to eat certain things because of the surgery that you had to have done.
Yeah.
But like, I'm imagining the conversation with your doctor, and she's like, "So what'd you have snack wise yesterday?" And you're like, 48 York peppermint patties, but they were minis. They were minis. Like,
Time size. You got to do it like real Kyoto gravel.
Dime size.
Ah.
So
No,
I don't know how much they're paying Rough House Fargo for tonight, but it ain't enough.
That guy's got a bigger forehead than I do.
This is
Who's
at
got a
least the
black throne?
fourth time he's refed on this show.
And after he's done, he can change your oil in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Mike,
oh, hey,
Oh.
Mrs. Teach. Whoa.
take it off.
Oh.
Take it off.
Yeah. Just can we remove that tank top?
Frank said take it off.
I missed it. I didn't get to see Mrs. Stevens.
Oh,
Give me one. Give me one of these. Give me
Come
one
back
of
one
these.
more time.
We want a shimmy.
Give me one
You
of
gotta
these.
meet
That's a
Pauly
shimmy.
B.
Give us a shimmy.
Hey, Polly.
Huh,
TJ,
there
ask
she
her
is.
ask her for a shimmy.
Mike wants a shimmy, and Frank's giving you one also.
Oh my. You never know what's going to happen on Top Guy Theater. Holy smokes.
She's hosted the show like 4 times.
How's she
we get a little
really?
rowdy.
Yeah.
We get a little
Yeah.
rowdy.
There
I'm
you
better.
go. Oh,
Much
she-
better.
I thought you ghosted me. For
Oh, how
little-
sweet.
little
Now she's got to
sugar.
put out.
I mean, she is
there's so much sugar on the show right now.
the woman that let me buy a $500 Georgia Championship Wrestling TV title and didn't divorce me when I forgot to tell her that I did it. So
I love how you forget to tell her those types of things, you know?
yeah.
Well, what
Happened in my
happens
house
is you
before.
start
D
going
battery
down the
whizzes
dating
over your
rabbit
head.
hole.
TJ, just so you know, I totally understand where you're coming from because when Frank bought the belt off me, he sent me a FedEx shipping label. So I emailed to my wife because she's got the printer at her office, and she goes, "You bought another fucking belt?" I was like, "No, I'm selling one." Oh, thank God. I don't tell her when I buy anything; they just show up at the house.
Oh, by the way, I'm buying another belt
Separate bank accounts for the one.
off of Mike. It's going to be
These
much
are the
cheaper.
things that I don't miss now being a single person.
What's my
Yeah.
We have to discuss those details yet.
Yeah.
Wait. What belt are you buying, TJ?
He wants my AWA belt.
AWA inmate.
Yes.
Why? I thought you wanted that, Mike. Like, what are you selling them for?
I won
Like,
that in a raffle.
He
Mike,
won
who
it in
did
a
you win?
raffle and then spent a half an hour sending me pictures of it.
What raffle did you win it? Do you know who made that belt?
I could ask it. It was one of the guys through Pond Waters connection.
Oh, okay. There you go.
The Gold
But-
Rush, right?
TJ, it'll just take a couple of photos of Mrs. TJ, and I'll send it to you first class
An
mail.
inordinate amount of money in this.
Mike
group.
said if you send him some pictures, he'll just send it for
Wow.
free.
Actually, I need to post in there and see who
Candid.
does
Candid photography.
restoning, because I want to send out both of my NXT women's titles to get restoned.
Somebody was talking about stoning things in that.
Richard Simpson he does a lot of restoning. Have you heard of him?
When we all get together, we'll get stoned. I promise.
Just meet up with
Oh.
Alcarai. Yeah.
No.
No, I
Different stone.
thought I was supposed to bring the good Alaskan chocolate cake this time.
Brother, he brought that Neapolitan. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Mrs. TJ sent me a picture of TJ just now.
The profile.
Does the carpet match the drapes?
Me or Mrs. TJ?
TJ has more hair in his crotch than he does on his chin right now.
I was just gonna say that. That's
Oh
an
my God.
absolute fact.
Oh my-
Wait, did you say my
And-
chin?
A
Yeah,
low
and
key
notice
hedgehog.
that- Notice how TJ's got a little bit of gray in his beard. It's all gray down below.
A little.
Oh my God.
There's a lot in there.
We really need to get like a moving graphic in the intro of like Tommaso Ciampa, but like of a Pac-Man. Tommaso
You keep
Ciampa,
quiet
chomp,
over
chomp,
there.
chomp, 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 chomp.
This is
My
the
wife's over there.
highlight
Show him the
my
back of your head.
You know what? Wait, better
Every
yet,
week is
better yet, TJ, I will give you the AWA belt if you dye blonde stripes in your beard and shave the eyebrows. Just saying.
Man, that's
Like a coon style, like a raccoon style
Oh my God, that's
looking
fantastic.
beard.
He said if I dye blonde stripes in my beard and shave my
Skunk.
eyebrows off, he'll give me the belt.
She's getting the Bic razor right now.
She said
I was
no.
gonna say she said
She said
no.
She passed on that. That's a hard pass. She
Wait,
has to look
T-
at it every day.
TJ, are you a hairy guy? Like really hairy, like your chest?
Define Harry.
Take off your shirt.
Yes, I'm Harry.
So what if we do a
Did not
40-year-old
see
virgin
the
wax type
the
thing?
Jack against his chest. It was adorable.
So this has become a thing now because we had the Frank Bruno HBK spread.
Which I still haven't recovered from.
Oh,
Henry
Lord.
wants to do. Henry has agreed to do one for charity also.
In what way,
What?
Brandy, haven't
Oh
you
my God.
recovered?
My heart has yet to recover.
So I
Wow.
think if I'm down
Henry,
for the waxing,
wait a minute. Did you just say Henry Evingham's going to do something like
yes,
this?
he's gonna
What
wrap
the-
himself. I'm not making this up. He's gonna wrap himself in a map naked.
Wrap himself in a
Wait,
wig.
wait,
a map.
wait, wait,
And a
but
mouse.
He's going to put holes in the map, and his arms will come out the side of it.
where in the
and wear
world
like a
is
map jacket.
a
naked?
map jacket?
But I think we could do a top guy waxing for charity live on the show one day.
Oh
This is-
wow.
And you want YouTube
Wow.
clicks? Holy smokes! Evingham
if-
gets oh man.
I just envision if we can just get some cartoonists like I don't want to mention anybody by names, but if we can get like Inspector Jacket, if we can get something like that, dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
Wait a minute, I have
Where's
him.
the
I
map?
have him right here.
Where's
I
the
have
map?
him right here.
Where's the map? Where's
Ah, that's cool. I love that.
oh dude, you do oh my god.
That's awesome.
I've got
He has-
Penny up here too.
He has a Funko Pop for everything we've mentioned so
Wait,
far.
do you
That's cool.
wait a minute? Do you have the
I love it.
He also has the one with the umbrella thingy.
Oh yeah, right here, right here.
The umbrella.
What about
this
Brain? Do you have Brain, the dog? Did he have a
They-
pop?
He didn't. Not yet. There's 2 Inspector Gadgets and a penny, but I'll have to look for Brain.
Yeah.
That came out wrong.
I'll have to look for a Brain.
Shockingly, I have a Derrick Henry one too. I think you're all shocked about that, right? And then I bought a bunch of Mandalorian ones, and then the rest are legitimately all WWE.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you were
And
just a
I
big
have-
Inspector Gadget fan? then?
I
Of that-
loved that cartoon. Like
Okay, cool.
Dr. Claw.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Dr.
Polly,
Claw.
we talked
Don
about
Adams, the voice of
everybody's
Inspector Gadget.
backgrounds. I kind of
That's
broke
right.
first rule because I had a photo made, and it goes up right here above the bed. I just
Oh,
take
boy,
it
that's-
down
I'm getting
before
scared.
it just comes down before video things happen.
What
And that
photo?
picture,
No,
that
along-
picture, what is this
Along
picture
with the
of?
mirror.
Oh dear God, here we go. What's this picture of that's on your wall?
What?
It's Frank's picture.
Oh, you got
The
to be tripping.
Playgirl.
You've got to be tripping. Are you tripping? Like, did you take acid today? Like, don't even fucking go. Are you serious? You printed
Wow.
that thing?
She puts a mirror up and Frank's picture on the wall in front of her bed. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But Carl's face is hilarious.
I popped Jamie. I win.
I don't know what you're popping in there, but holy smokes.
Title of Frank's sex tape.
I'm crying.
One night with Brandy is what I'm hearing on Top Guy Theater.
Hey, TJ.
Yeah,
So I'm messaging Mrs. TJ.
I know.
And
I'm reading them.
and
Thanks for
I said,
transitioning, Michael.
If we full body wax TJ on the show, I'll give him the belt from his ankles to his neck, ball fro and all, including your ass crack. And her response was, "So you're gonna make him a slip and slide?" And I said, "I'm asking if 1, would you be okay with it, and 2, would you do the honors of waxing him?" And her response was, "If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it."
Wow.
You had me till ball fro.
Yeah, he lost everything you said after ball fro.
You would let her wax your ass crack?
I would say the worst is lower stomach. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
And is that the voice of
is way-
experience? Is that the
Yes.
voice of
Go-
experience, Carl?
Yeah, no, that's twice going to
The old Brazilian. Carl got the old Brazilian back.
2
As
outdoor
someone
weddings.
that's had a different area wax. No, I disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. It just lower stomach was like, oh no, you're right. You know what, Brandy, you are correct.
That's worse.
I stand correct, because the worst was you got like when I went for my second one, you got a free like thing, and she was whipping up she put it into what looked to be like charcoal or tar, and then she's whipping her up, and I'm like, great, nose, she's gonna take these hairs off, right? And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it felt like it was touching the cortex of my brain. And I'm like, I'm like, oh! It was like everything came. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Why'd you put that up my nose? That was way worse. Yeah, that was the worst waxing
That
I've
one's
ever gotten.
horrible.
That
And
is
actually,
horrific.
Right here, right in the center, it fucking sucks.
That, I don't know. That up the nose, I would take.
Do you know what really sucks is being dry shaved when you have to have a procedure done to you. When you have that like.
No, honey, waxing is worse.
Wow.
Waxing.
Are you
No,
sure?
dry shaving.
Are you sure? When they look, I'm gonna
was
get
dry
graphic.
shaved to get tattooed, so yes.
What is? Oh wow.
I'm gonna get graffic here, but when I
Please, why not? Why not? Go ahead, get graphic.
When I had my catheterization for my when they closed had closed the hole in my heart, so they had to go into my crotch, right? You know.
Oh yeah.
Because
and they're like,
that's the way you get to a man's heart is through his crotch.
Well, I mean, yeah, to both sides. So they're like, we've got to shave you, and I'm like, okay, and they start doing it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I feel like you're using a goddamn weed whacker. What are you doing? Like it hurt like a motherfucker. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And then the silver lining was later, like 12 hours later, when because they had to like let things heal, and Are you what the fucking right now? Why are you?
I
what the
am.
fucking
I am
Pauly
because I
B?
just realized we're only an hour and a half into the show, and there's still another hour and a half left to start
Okay.
Starrcade 84.
Yeah. So the one of the nurses that came in because they have to push down on the artery to make sure it clots and stuff. And you know, she was kind of cute, so I kept sitting there trying to like not chub up while she was pulling it out, but like you know. Just...
Brandy's eyebrows just shot straight up when you said chub up.
This is why Brandy
what's fun?
can't play poker.
This is why I love this show. 20 minutes ago, he mentioned Ray Caruth.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about his catheter.
Now we're talking about this. Yes.
Well,
No,
cardiac
I had to get-
catheterization, not catheter in my junk. Like they had to go through my femorals, but they were like deep down in the depths of hell. So
yes.
Just the way you started the
I knew
narrative
what
of the silver lining to this is, you know, it's like, what the fuck? I'm like waiting for the silver lining to get there. And I'm like, okay, this is going to get better. And then they pressed down on my artery. And I'm like, nope, that's not where I thought he was going to go. That's not exactly what I was thinking.
Tattoo. I had to get dry shaved at the tattoo shop, and it was not fun.
This makes a whole new twist to the meaning of the words "I'm going into the weeds" with Eric Bischoff.
Oh shit!
Well played.
Walk off.
Hey, TJ.
Walk off.
TJ, if you won't get waxed, what about a property of Mike Kolb tattoo somewhere on your body?
Oh Lord.
You drive a hard bargain.
I say his face on your ass cheek.
That's where it belongs.
Like they did in The Office with Nard Dog.
Yeah, it's got to be like a Mad, yeah, see, it's got to be like a Mad TV logo too.
That's my nickety name.
Yeah. Cornell Hofstra Slaughter. Wings hot. Waitresses hotter.
Pauly, we didn't even show you this virtual background.
Oh, for fuck's
Oh my God, there they
going
are, the
on right
tag
now?
team.
That
The
is
tag team
a photo-
champions.
that was a photo of me and my ex. That was.
Oh, okay, with Frank's name. Yes, I love Brandy Wagner. I also love when her finger slips into my bum. Whoa!
Fucking Lord.
Whoa!
Do this shit. Like, oh my God. And he's so quick to do it too. Oh my God.
This is incredible.
Oh my God. I'm waiting for my well, I'm not even gonna put that in his head. Never mind.
Don't say it. Don't speak it into existence.
But Mike, your first prank ever was changing carlmandic.com into Chicago Cubs.
Was that my first prank? I thought my first prank was the glitter bomb.
It was.
Was.
Well, I thought, you know what, glitter bomb might have been first.
Same time?
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
Russians.
I think
in the
Carl
ring.
Mandic. Yeah, it's funny because when I type in carlmandic.com on my computer, before I even hit enter, the logo shows the Cubs logo.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to test this out.
Yeah, go to carlmandic.com.
I don't know why that's that's such a bad thing. The
Did-
Cubs.
did,
I mean,
did it on air too. Like I was like unbelievable, effing believable that this guy just did this to me, and I'm like, all right, well, this is an all timer. That's
seeing a babyface Ole Anderson is weirding me out right now.
Who the hell is
Seeing
Keith
him team with
Larson?
anybody other
I know
than
Keith Larson, the Buddy Landell, Ric Flair wannabe here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Buddy
with his
Landell.
mom's bathrobe.
This is pre Four Horsemen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what's
I'm not-
funny
I'm
is
used- I'm used
And
to
Don
seeing
Kernodle
asshole
on the
Ole.
outside.
yeah,
Don, that's
As this
a
is- you
name
have
I haven't
Ivan
heard in forever, and,
and
it's
a
gay.
very young Nikita Koloff,
Yep.
and then you have Ole Anderson. Don Kernodle was a pretty big star in this time in the '80s, but I mean not for much longer after that. And then Keith Larson.
Oh, tomorrow's actually my tattoo artist's birthday. That's
What
awesome.
what arena is this again?
This is Greensboro, isn't it?
I would assume
Yeah,
so.
it's the
They-
Coliseum.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Keith Larson is the Vince Coleman to
Listen,
the
when you go,
1997 Seattle Mariners.
when listen, Keith Larson is so nobody. He's nobody. When you go to Wikipedia to look at this card, his name is the only one that's not a blue link that you can click on to see
Oh,
more.
nobody even made him a Wikipedia
No,
page.
he's nothing. I mean, we got to see the Zambui Express and learn more about them
They have
than
their own
Keith
Wikipedia
Larson.
page.
That's
but
right.
Not this fucker.
Pretty sure the referee Tommy Young is more over than Keith Larson.
Absolutely, it's Tommy Young.
Easy way, hard way, baby.
You pick.
Tommy Young.
I love that.
Hey guys,
Tommy Young.
I wanted to circle back to a conversation we were having earlier, if we could. So you guys, the title chase on Patreon.
Yeah.
So Carl, I'm gonna need your help with this.
Okay.
What would the trailer for Title Chase sound like if it were an episode about the Knuckle Shuffle NXT Championship?
Oh God.
Oh.
NXT.
In a world where Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods each split an Ambien, a bottle of Cabernet, and Paige says, "Hi, you come here and rumble my Triscuits just a bit, fumble my rumpkins, just, play with my cupcakes just a bit." It's a world we don't know about, but it is a world that smells like bleach and saltine crackers. God, it smells like terrible. Take two. Beep. That's about it. I think that's the only trailer I can do.
Paige.
Couldn't you just start it with "In a world where things go in Paige's ass"? Like,
Whoa!
Wow!
Look, I've seen the video. She's.
I haven't.
Come on.
I'm not joking. I swear to you guys on my life, I love your background.
Pauly B, I promise you, I'm gonna apologize now because I know you're gonna think differently of me after this, but I will still love Saved by the Pod and listen every week, even if you hate me. I promise.
He's like, no, we're good.
No,
so far so good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say Efren had a toss my salad match reference on the past.
Dude, this is
that's right.
Yeah, toss my salad. Listen, this is nothing, man. Are you kidding me? You get the straight narrator, Pauly B, on ad-free shows, but Saved by the Pod's more let your hair down, have a good time. So I'm good with all this shit. Are you kidding me?
I mean, he has to balance out Efren, so I think he's fine.
I guess since we had an Efren run-in, and you're here with us today, I do kind of want to plug this, even though by the time the show comes out, it's going to be over. But hey, we can bring it up anyway. You guys have a sweepstakes going on now for the Royal Rumble.
We do.
Clever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all Efren, man. We joke on the show and say he's driving the party bus, but listen, that's what he does for a living. He's a gamesman. He's a blackjack dealer, and he's all over games and coming up with things to win and do this and do that. So early on, we were like, man, this is your world. Whatever you want to do, we'll just go along with it. But he's got a whole deal going with the Royal Rumble that if you interacted with one of our tweets or social media posts and then bought some merch, from the store, just interacting with us on social media got you, you have a number in the game that if you get picked, you can win $50, but then the money's upped, right? So if you buy one item from the store, I think by tonight at 8, you could win, $500. And if you bought 2 items, you could win $1,000 if you get the number, for the Royal Rumble winner. And so that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Frank, I'm drawing Santino.
Well,
I'm gonna get Santino's number, and I'm gonna get 0.4 seconds.
People get picked, right? You have 30
That's
numbers.
true.
Yeah. So hopefully I get one, but I was gonna buy the merch anyway.
He's working on videos all night tonight that will be coming out. I think over 30 videos through social media tomorrow as things go and as certain numbers come up. He's something else, man. He's putting a lot of work into it.
Now, I'm curious. Is Saved by the Pod going to be video eventually?
Great question. So it is. We're working on things now to maybe eventually sometime this year open up a Patreon page for the first time. And nice. We have some ideas for that, a game night, and I don't want to get into some of that stuff, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But the video version is coming, and it's being worked on. And instead of when we go to clips, the video version, you'll see it. You're going to see those clips as we talk about it. So even from all the TV shows and the movies and the music, all the way through the wrestling. So we're excited about it.
Well, you just sold me, so you need to. I want the inside scoop because I want to be your first patron.
All right. Hey, listen, and you know what? What we like about the show is it helps bring back the feels. Like when you guys were all talking the 90s pop culture stuff,
Mhm.
when we play the music, when we play a clip, it like all comes rushing back. So that's where we win with our show is really, you know,
It
getting
totally
people
does.
sucked in from that. So to be able to see it, like we think that's going to be a lot of fun.
This
Hey,
past,
Frank,
yeah, go ahead.
real quick, do you want to be the first patron because you're jealous of TJ being the first top guy?
Top guy.
But he's
So
not. So
we need
TJ is
to
the original top.
we need to dispel that rumor. It's not true.
Oh, really? I thought I
No.
heard that you were the first top
So
guy.
I think here's where the confusion came in, because I'm pretty sure everyone in this chat right now, it was before me. I came in
was
June,
April.
but what I think
I
where
was
the
April.
confusion is it came out, the super Patreon came out the day of my birthday last year. I was at work. I worked midnight, so I signed up at like 4 a.m. I'm pretty sure there's a good chance I was the first one ever to sign up. I don't think I'm the first top guy. Actually, I know I'm
No,
not.
you are. Evan said so.
I know he.
Yeah,
did.
Evan was wrong.
All right, he's not.
Oh, tell us, Cole, who was it then?
I'm pulling it
You
up
know?
right now.
Okay,
I can pull it up
cool.
right now. I
I
think
know
I
I was
did. I think I
reading
told
all the time.
TJ who it was, but
Do we have a
Um,
number? Like, I'd love to know mine. You can even text me then.
So while he's looking that up, I wanted to say, like, the thing about the pod, like, I think this past week was 99's
Sold
sold out,
out.
right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I can't remember. Did maybe you guys, whatever this, when you guys go back to the songs, I will sometimes stop the pod and go listen to
Yeah.
the song. Like I think you guys there was one episode where you guys were doing Semi Charm Kind of Life,
Yes.
and I'm like they played it, and I'm like, and I'm like, okay,
Oh.
pause, Semi Charm Kind of
Yeah,
Life.
yeah.
It was
I
like,
do the same
love
thing,
that
man.
shit.
And what's
Same thing when you cover the 80s too. I'll go and like
Oh,
grab an 80s song and I'll listen to it. Like I don't get much work done on Tuesdays because of you guys, but hey,
yeah.
I love it.
There's not the 80s because obviously again showing my age, but when we get to do the 80s stuff, man, the music and the TV shows and the movies, oh, that's my sweet spot. I love it. But you're right. The reminder of music. I think music, when you do shit notes and then we cover the #1 song too, when you start hearing all those tracks, it's like, man, I love the music part of what we do.
And I graduated in '99, so
Okay.
you're really like, or even what do you guys cover the '94 Rumble before that, which was live
Yes.
from Providence, Rhode Island.
Jesus Lord.
You know, like even those songs in that time and the movies in that time, like you're just tugging on all the strings for me. So.
Well, what about some of the fun stuff now? We're doing like the event of a time period where it was the Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
That was
my God.
tremendous.
And then Efren knows the songs in the background.
Yeah.
Right?
Chicago songs in the background.
Absolutely.
Look away, baby, look away. Oh, you can't make that up. It was like Efren said, it's like he was spinning the record player to the beating of Nancy Kerrigan.
Entering the ice next, Jeff Galooly. Jeff Galooly to the ice.
That's right.
And your thug. Can you?
So I listen to most of my podcasts in the truck on the way to work. I got like a 25-minute drive to work. Other than that, I usually because I have every other weekend off. So every other weekend I'll sit down here on a Saturday and just purge like 10 hours of podcasts out. But your guys' show I listen to on the drive to and from work every day. And I was listening to Sold Out 99 the other day, and you guys were doing the music, and you guys did Save Tonight by Third Eye Blind.
Oh, I love that song.
And
Yeah.
I'm driving the truck. I just go, such a good song.
Pause and over to Apple Music. Time to listen to some music. There you go.
And that is the one thing I DM'd Efren about. I go, it's not the big things. It's those things that are laced in truth. So he goes right after that Third Eye Blind thing. He goes, I have you guys got into Jawbreaker, and then you guys got into, and then he goes, I have TMJ from
That's
a bad night of
Marilyn
ecstasy.
Manson movie, right?
Which
Jawbreaker was the Marilyn Manson movie, right? The one where she swallows the thing, and right? Am I right on that? Yeah,
I think so.
I thought
Is that
Jawbreaker was an album.
No,
I
it's a
think it was
movie.
music.
Marilyn Manson likes to have, in this movie, Marilyn Manson likes to have sex with dead girls. He's got what, necrophilia?
Could we look that up?
Yeah, if I remember this movie correctly, yeah, it was Brandy.
Semi Charm kind
Brandy's
of
all
off
over it.
off of Jawbreaker. I thought That was
Charm kind of life.
yeah.
Baby, baby.
I thought that's where Jawbreaker came, but it could be Chumbawamba. I don't know. Either he goes, I had TMJ from a bad ecstasy night, and then you guys are like, okay, and then he laughs, and it's like, okay, I think that was real. And either way, they're blurring the
Yes, you
lines.
can't
like,
tell. Yep.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Like I laughed out loud at the TMJ line, like the little nuances.
Michael,
Do we get a jawbreaker thing here?
Even
It is
even
a movie from 1999, but Marilyn Manson is not in this.
Oh, it's something else I'm thinking of.
even the
You're
and you
thinking
mentioned
of Marilyn Manson because he was with Rose McGowan and she's in this movie.
Oh, maybe there's a combine.
It's inspired by Heathers, which, if you know the movie Heathers, oh Heather wants to talk to us. Heather.
and Carl, to your point though about the little nuances. So it's the things that aren't in the show notes or that aren't supposed to be part of the show that when we hurry up and throw a quick jab into it, maybe it's referencing an older TV show again or something. And then Timmy will go in now that he's doing all the editing and he'll find the jingle or music to tie into it. And it just becomes this thing. And it's fun for me to listen when it's all tightened up and post-produced.
Tightened up.
Tightened up. That's
no, it's
Tighten up. Likes tightened
the
up.
fuck up.
Tighten up.
Yeah.
So the first top guy, according to the list.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
And real quick side note, I don't know if all of you heard me chewing a second ago. I had my mic. I thought I had my mic muted, and I was chewing like right next to my mic.
we did not.
Tim Laza.
Oh, yes. He just did the bonus podcast with Tony for the Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase match.
So fun. Here's some fun for you though. Efren was a top guy before all of us.
I'm sure.
Weird.
But can anybody tell me who the first top guy was that is currently that is a Top Guy theater member? Who wants to take a guess who the first top guy was?
No, it's not me.
TJ.
Not yeah.
Was it
I'm
Frank?
gonna go with Antonio.
I'm gonna say Matt Levitt.
I'm
no,
gonna
it's
go
Mike.
Bruno.
I'm going Mike Cole.
Mike Kolb.
The answer is Matt Levitt.
Damn it.
Okay.
And then next, here's something crazy for you. Next is me, and then 18 minutes later was Carl.
Wow.
Carl and I were like, bam, bam, same day.
I'm actually the last one of our group because when Carl found me, I was a My Push member.
Yeah, I was in April.
I didn't
wasn't I, Mike?
upgrade to Top Guy until like mid-October.
We got the invite over from WHW. That's how I remember getting the.
I was
because you were the VIP. If you were low-key Big Hog, didn't you get like a VIP deal?
Yeah, we got the first 3 months for like $1.
Yeah, I came over from 83 weeks.
Which I said F that, and I'm like, I'll just give him my money. I
Yeah.
got no girlfriend. Buddy's taken care of. It's good. I
How is
can spend
Buddy?
it.
I need my
He's
buddy
good.
update.
He's good. Actually, I can get him.
Yeah,
I can get
Frank,
him.
Frank, you were end of April.
See, I was My Push at first though, wasn't I? I think.
Whatever $29 is.
Yeah. so
My,
that was my.
That's
my
Toot
push
Toot,
was
isn't it?
49.
Toot
Toot Toot is
Oh,
49.
I was Toot, but then I went right to because I wanted. I wanted to be a top
Christ.
guy, but it said they were sold out, so I
Yeah,
went
you
to
did.
Toot Toot.
Mhm. Yeah, because
And
they
then-
restricted it to begin with.
Yeah, and then when they were like, "Hey," I got an email. It's like, "Hey, some more slots opened up." I went right to it.
I also got that email.
Yeah, when I
Very-
joined, I got the last one.
That's what Evan told me.
So the big news here was Tim Laza was the
Tim
first.
Laza.
Okay.
Very nice.
Where's Matt Levitt today? I was hoping he would be on too, but he couldn't
He
make
is
it. Or
saving the
He's
world.
saving the world.
If you want to know what he's doing, just look up on YouTube Captain Planet intro theme and just watch that on repeat for about 45 minutes, and then you'll know.
No,
Understood.
And there is rumor and innuendo
Putting a lot of rings
that he
together.
is Pentagon Jr.
yes.
Oh no, there's no rumor. I've proven it.
We've never seen Matt Levitt and Pentagon in the same place at the same time. And Matt Levitt owns like 19 of Penta's masks.
They're also the same height.
So-
And every Wednesday night, Matt Levitt has quote unquote night court.
Night Court.
Dun
Night
dun,
Court.
dun dun dun.
Yeah,
dun,
it's a great
dun,
theme song.
Dun, dun. I was going to say better theme song, Pauly B. Would you go Perfect Strangers or Who's the Boss?
Oh, Perfect Strangers. I gotta go Perfect Strangers.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I do too.
Okay.
See, I can't pick.
There's a time to love and a time.
Listen, time to listen. Take a chance and face the way. Anyway, listen. I just got done binge watching all 9 series or seasons of Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for
And
you.
that's why it got me into it. That's what that hit me in the feels of like being born in '85. My first recollection of TV is 2 things: Bulls, Pistons, and Who's the Boss.
Oh,
so like
my
88,
first recollection
89.
of TV was Sally Jesse Raphael.
See,
red
that's
glasses, the red glasses, Sally.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, real quick, guys. When we were talking about "Save Tonight," that song, it's not Third Eye Blind. It's Eagle Eye Cherry.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Eagle
That's
Eye
what it was.
Cherry.
Yeah.
Because I was
It had an
looking
eye
it
in
up.
it.
'Cause- Yeah. All right.
Save
Right. This one. Right.
Like the break of dawn.
We're about to get
say-
blocked on YouTube.
Yeah, that's that
song,
one.
right?
Yes, that's it.
I've gotten everything else wrong today, Frank. I have to get that one wrong too.
It's all good.
No,
You
that
can't
was
talk
me.
about 90s music without talking about the Spin Doctors.
Oh, there you go.
Why?
Were you so you mentioned Who's the Boss, Carl. Were you a fan of Family Ties or Growing Pains or Mr. Belvedere or any
All
of
of
those
those.
shows?
So I had to go
Mr.
back and
Belvedere
watch
was-
those retroactively. Sally
Look at
Jesse
his
Raphael
glasses.
here. Yeah, these were the Sally Jesse. These are here as a prop. No, so I went back and watched those retroactively, but the ones that I've been able to rewatch, like time and time, not to go off an 80s song, but yeah,
Time
Saved by the
after
Bell
time.
and Boy Meets World. I would
Boy
see
Meets
are-
World.
are up there. Boy Meets World, I think is.
Now, what year was Boy Meets World? Because I think I had just gotten out of that generation who watched
so
that.
That would be and you know what's funny, because Frank and I had differing views on TGIF, right?
Okay.
Like everybody's got, like, if you're about a
Full House,
3
Family Matters. I remember when
Very-
just the 10
yep.
of us was on and Step by
So,
Step.
80.
See,
Yep.
Step by
80,
Step.
87.
World
87.
aired on ABC from September 24th, 1993 to May
93.
5th, 2000.
That's what tells you I was out, because 93 I would have been working my first few high school jobs, Taco Bell, and then at the old grocery store, Acme.
Yo,
Hell
Jesus.
yes.
Oh,
Hey,
Okay,
here's a
guys.
little bit of trivia for you, real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mike. Uncle Phil, who plays Avery Brooks, plays Uncle
Yeah.
Phil in Fresh Prince. Did the voice of Shredder in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Yes.
cartoon.
That's correct.
I didn't know that.
James Avery did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Original
did.
TMT. Yeah.
As we all know, Kevin Nash is Super Shredder.
Yes.
Who did Brain? We have another reference to Brain here.
Brain the dog.
No, Brain. Wasn't that the thing inside the cartoon
Krang.
with the?
Oh,
Krang.
Krang.
No.
Krang. Yeah, you got. Yeah, Phil got it.
Brain was the mouse from Animaniacs.
Yes, and Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
What are we doing
By the way,
tonight, Brain?
there's a
Same
new
thing we
season
do
of that.
every night. Try to take over the world.
There's a new season of that on
Stimpy.
Hulu right now, by the way.
Of Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky
Animaniacs.
and the
Yeah, with
brain,
Pinky
brain,
and the Brain.
brain, brain.
All right.
I was gonna say something. My brain melted.
We were talking TGIF there, Step by
Yeah.
Step. What
See,
else?
Oh
For-
my God! Step by step.
I said I worked at Taco Bell.
Oh,
Somebody popped for that.
you guys brought up Jesse Raphael. You guys forgot the OG, Phil Donahue.
Oh, Phil
Phil
Donahue. Yes.
Donahue! Yes.
I'm sorry. I liked Oprah.
Na-na-na-na-na.
I
Oprah.
liked Oprah.
You got to watch
I
that.
mean,
that Vince
Maury-
being on there.
Little Timmy and Little Susie hang up their stockings with care. Meanwhile, Mom and Dad's at the mall looking for Tickle Me Elmo at 3 a.m, and all of a sudden,
What the?
it's actually an SNL skit. I just directly ripped that
No,
off.
I
Netflix.
know. I hit that.
Oh.
I was like, what the hell?
Celebrity
Here comes
Jeopardy.
Steamboat.
So-
Steamboat.
Oh yes.
Pauly, do you like avoid Taco Bell now since you've worked at one?
No, you would think I would, but no. I remember some of the most fun times. So when I first started there, I worked in the back, like cooking the ground beef, washing the dishes. Then they finally let me go to the line where hey, it's time to make those 7 layers and those soft taco supremes and the Mexican pizzas.
Oh
I
my
have to
And
do Taco
god.
Bell now when I go to work.
Listen, one time
Oh.
I'll never forget. They used to have those like it was like a S line, and it came up to one register. It wasn't multiple registers
Yep.
at the front of the store. And they called me in early one day, and I had just started working there, and they're like, "We're gonna need you to work the front." I'm like, "Wait, what?" They're like, "You're gonna run the register at the front," and I was clueless. Like the line wrapped around. I'm trying to find what button to push for extra tomato and extra sour cream. And this big fat man comes in and he leans over the counter and he gets real close to me and he's like, "I want 8 hard tacos." And I just remember looking up and I said, "Did you say 8 hard tacos?" And he looked at me like he was going to die as the whole line just all kind of gave that Scooby-Doo look. And and so, yeah, man, that was one of my favorite memories. And then the other time, my other favorite memory, well, 2 more. One was working the drive-through window. That was a chaotic time the first time I did that. And then the last one is every time I got to leave and head home, I'd get a call from my dad. "Hey, can you bring me some food home?" And the most wonderful thing about working at Taco Bell is you place that $10 order, that $20 order at the end, you hit the employee button and it cut it all right in half. So you could walk out with $10 worth of food for $5 and you were set for the night.
That's
So
awesome.
I
I
worked at a
don't get the
McDonald's.
obsession with Taco Bell.
You don't
Oh,
get
it's-
the obsession?
No.
Because you live in a
Because 2 of my aunts married Mexican
I'm
men,
hungry
and
now
one
all
of
of a
my
sudden.
uncles married a Mexican lady. So Taco Bell is like a curse word.
that's
Like
see, that's the
dirty.
problem. Is there are people who consider Taco Bell Mexican food? It's not.
No, it's like
It
an
isn't.
American.
No rational person thinks that.
No,
But I
but
was
if I
upset
ever
when they
got
did away
caught,
with the Mexican pizza. They don't do the Mexican
if I
pizza
got caught
anymore.
going to Taco Bell, I'd be disowned.
So that's the whole thing, though, right? They would get rid of things to bring them back. I thought that was the whole like
McRib
But
theory.
it was like
Yeah.
a big deal when they just got rid of Mexican pizza. Like people are like contacting them now.
right. I thought that was like
There's
the
like change.org petitions.
Well, I thought that was kind of like a thing with like what's the again, this is beyond I only know this from my younger brother. Rick and Morty with the sweet and sour like the sauce. Yeah, but
The
the
Szechuan
nuggets.
sauce.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I thought that was like a zennial millennial thing. Because I'm not in Frank, we're not in either. Mike,
Look at
we're
that
not in
TV
either.
title real quick, TJ. The TV
That's
title
nice.
that Tully's got.
Hey, I'm still waiting to hear
that was
Mike's-
before
Mike's
that was
story.
before the red one.
Yes.
I'm still waiting to hear Mike's
that-
McDonald's story.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, I
well,
need to hear
I
this.
just wanted to say real quick that the Mexican pizza is responsible for my large breasts.
I fucking love that stuff.
I wish I could blame my large breasts on that. That was just me.
Whoa!
Oh, that TV title is weird.
I want it.
so to go to that story, there's a lot of McDonald's stories I can't share.
Is this
on
how
here.
is this how you got your large breast, Mike? Is that what you're about to share?
Dude, I was like 145 pounds when I worked at McDonald's. Like I was tiny.
Yeah.
I weigh double that now. But so, and I'm not going to tell all the stories on the off chance that my wife or maybe my kids in 10 years watch this and they hear some of these stories because they're pretty bad. But I remember when I first went through the interview process, they asked you the
What were you
question.
doing?
We'll talk about it off air when we don't record.
That's after hours.
Yes. But let's just say first, never mind. But going through the interview process, they asked me like, what would you do if you caught a coworker, eating French fries and blah, blah, blah. And of course you're like, oh, turn them in. Well, one night I'm there and our night manager comes in. Mind you, I'm 16. And this night manager is getting dropped off by his wife. And we hear her screaming at him in the car. And like he comes in and every time we saw him, he's like, my wife's a bitch. I hope I can leave her, but she's the only one with a valid license in the family. Like it's the whole thing.
Of course.
So but he comes in that night and he's like shaking because she's just berating him. And he pulls out like a gram of weed and he's got rolling papers and he is shaking so bad he can't roll this joint. And he's like, Mike, do you know how to roll a joint? It's like, I've seen my parents do it enough, but
What is happening?
I'm sure I can help you. So I'm in the freezer at McDonald's, rolling my boss a joint. He lights it in the freezer, offers it to me. Next thing I know, my dad comes in and I'm making the French fries. my dad didn't care, but I'm making French fries, and my dad walks in, and that's all he sees is his son standing at the French fry thing, just taking French fries and shoving them in my mouth at the actual French fry station because I am stoned out of my mind. That's my story.
Wow. Hey, and what better place to be stoned at than right there at the French fry bin,
French
baby?
fry station in McDonald's. Yes.
How many Rolling Rocks was your dad in?
My dad loved that because we did, like Pauly told that story about how his employee discount was 50% off. We just like forgot what we called it back, comp. We hit the comp button and we'd order like $50 worth of food and just give it for free to our family members. So my dad would come in and like just walk out with bags of McDonald's.
Phil, I don't mean to cut you off at all. The best story I believe, and I cannot find it, Mike, because I did not download this episode and we got blocked. The best story you've ever told in history is the Rockford winning the tickets front row story. I don't know if you're comfortable telling it, so I'm going to be sensitive. You know me, I'm like Softy Jones. If you want to tell it and Pauly B hasn't heard it.
That's what she said.
I think Softy Jones. Yeah, that was before ST Jones. I was
before he got crushed at WrestleMania 1 by King Kong.
I think that is one of the best told stories of all time.
So, I mean, the story that you're referring to is a point in time when my mom had a DUI. She had a couple DUIs, and there's like a lot of stories to that. Like I still to this day remember my mom got pulled over. I was in the back seat. My mom was hammered. She opened up the driver's, or the cop asked her to step out of the vehicle, and my mom fell out of the car. And like my dad had to pick me up at the police department because they arrested my mom for a DUI. And I remember as we were leaving, my mom screaming, because back in the day when like there wasn't like a cell, you were like handcuffed to the wall. And my mom is yelling at my dad, "You're not going to bail me out." My dad's like, "Nope, you were driving drunk with our kid. You could stay here for the night." My dad took me home. But my mom goes through all this DUI stuff. She drove for 10 years without a license.
Oh my goodness.
I win tickets for the Raw after WrestleMania 13. I was at WrestleMania 13. I get tickets to it. The Tuesday after that, my mom's got her DUI hearing. Or sorry, that morning of the Raw, my mom's got her DUI hearing where they're going to give her license back. And I go into court with her, and she's got me lying, saying, "Mom, my mommy doesn't drink," all that. My mom tells them she's sober as a bird. Fast forward to Monday Night Raw. It's me, my mom, my dad, my buddy Mike at Raw. And as we aren't on TV the entire night until the very end. And there's my mom on TV holding her a beer, schnockered out of her mind on national TV. That's the story that Carl's referring to.
Unbelievable. So you saw, what was it? Sid and Taker? WrestleMania
I'm sorry.
13?
I don't remember it being that dark.
Oh, you're fine. It's not dark at all.
I remember I guess I remember the payoff. Like I felt like that was like a Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart.
I'm fairly certain I was on that episode with Mike.
Yeah.
And my exact phrase was, "I'm pretty sure your mom is my dad."
It is.
Yep.
It's literally what you said. Yes. Well,
I mean, I'm biased, but I do hold the story that broke Mike.
Well, yeah. I mean, going back to the beginning, Pauly, when she told Kyoto she was in Alaska and she said there's 13,000 people here, what she also failed to tell him is that she's related to all of them. And so she's like, "I can't date anybody here." And then she goes on to tell the story. You could tell it if you want, Brandy, or do you want me to?
No, I can tell it.
Ancestry.com.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a story I gotta tell.
Yeah, poor Phil. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, no, you guys, I still feel to this day a twinge of guilt about this, and you guys will figure out why. So, my first stint working at Domino's was like 7 years ago, and instead of putting miles on my own car, I would rent a car, and I got this sweet deal where I would pay $30 for a rental car for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't ask me how. And so one weekend, I managed to get a Camaro. Yes, a Camaro. And
Weird.
So, of course, with a Camaro rental car, Of course, I'm doing 100 miles an hour to each delivery, just flying around because it's not my car. It's a fucking rental. Who cares? So I'm heading back to Domino's, right? And it's a straightaway through a light right to Domino's. And I decide to just floor it, right? So I floor it and I come up and there's this minivan on the right side of me and I get over the other lane and I pass her. But what I didn't see was in the parking lot, right over next to the minivan was a police officer. I'm assuming this is how it happened. I passed the minivan and I'm sure the cop looked at his radar, saw I was doing like 95 miles an hour, looked up, saw the minivan. I pulled in the parking lot. That cop pulled the minivan over. So I go on another delivery and I come back. And my manager said, yeah, this lady called and said that she got a ticket for you doing 95 miles an hour and that you should take care of it. And I'm like, she's crazy.
Holy cow!
So did you let her pay your ticket?
I never talked to that woman or interacted with her ever. That's why I feel kind of guilty about it. But it's also really funny.
Now, Phil, that makes you a fucking heel.
He's a heel.
I'm going to tell you guys my speeding story. It's never happened.
That's the end of the story.
That's it. I've never gotten a speeding ticket in my life.
Wow, good for you, TJ.
I am like my family. So my wife's side of the family, we love to go camping. Like we have a camper, and I tow it around different places, go to state parks, stuff like that for the weekend. And her mom, which is it's not just her mom, but her mom's the loudest one. They all make fun of me because I drive the speed limit all the time. I don't ever speed. And so we're driving the camper to the same park, and she's like, she calls me on the phone while I'm driving, and she goes, "Aren't you going to drive faster?" I go, "I'm going the speed limit, and I'm towing something." And she goes, "Yeah, but oh, look at this guy." And
Sorry, go ahead.
She's essentially just shitting on me. I was like, "Didn't you used to sell car insurance to people?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "But why are we having this? No. Are you going to pay for my insurance? No. If you want to pass me, go ahead. I'll find my way." That was really boring because I'm a boring guy.
Accurate.
So what was Brandy's break mic thing? I don't remember that.
That she's probably banged some of her cousins in Alaska.
Brandy's breaking mic story. As I mentioned to Mike Kyoto, there's 13,000 people on this entire island. I'm related to approximately half of them. And my grandmother's sister married our second cousin. But, you know, it's okay because they're both out of childbearing age.
Hey, Andrew Giuliani did it.
Yes.
That broke me. I was also high as a kite when you told that story.
He was also, yeah, it was fun. And that brings me to another story is I've never sped either because for a good portion of my life, the chief of police was one of my best friend's mom. So I was not ever going to get caught doing anything because Rhonda would call my mom and that's not good.
I mean, it's really hard to speed in a canoe though, so.
I would like to state for the record that I legitimately, you guys can look it up if you want, if you have a way to. I legitimately have never gotten a speeding ticket in my entire life, despite the fact that I drive like a bat out of hell.
Holy cow! You guys
Okay.
are.
I really do.
I was just saying, what is going on here?
I know.
I've been arrested for. I was the third Winklevoss twin.
Oh,
row. You know, and I got arrested for that. And then on top of it, yeah, I spent 2 nights in the old rib crib. Yeah, I just out of disorderly conduct and.
My dad has 7 DUIs, so I figured, and he's been in several bar fights in my life, so I figured he's been to jail enough for the both of us, so I just don't go.
Sorry, Carl. I just got to say it. I don't know if this is going to come out on the screen very well, but this is every speeding ticket I ever got back in my hometown.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm not even kidding.
That was my man.
Dude, what in the world? And
dude, Chicago is brutal.
And you still have a license?
So this is before Chicago, though. That was from between the ages of 16 and like 21. My first
what?
Yeah, that's not even a joke. So what happened was my parents split up 2 days before my 16th birthday. My mom did not want me to have my license. I stayed with dad. What did dad do? Fuck your mom. We're going to get you a license. And then what did my dad do? My dad and I had been restoring a 72 Chevelle. So my first
Nice.
car was the Chevelle. I got my first ticket a week after I got my license on my way to school doing 62 and a 35. Wasn't my
Lord.
fault.
Wasn't my fault.
Because, and here's why. When the cop pulled me over, I thought I was doing 40. So I knew I was going a little fast because that's what the speedometer said. We had oversized tires in the Chevelle. I did not know that meant that the speedometer was going to be off. So my dad went to court, told the judge that, and the judge was nice, threw it out. I saw that same judge for every one of those other tickets, though. And he always brought up, I should have never thrown out your first ticket because you never, like, no, I'm not believing oversized tire story anymore. But yeah, I had been arrested for driving on a suspended license for once from all my speeding tickets. I actually got arrested twice for that. All before I was 21. Yeah. Now I mean I speed, but the most I'll do is like 5 to 9 miles over the speed limit. That's it. I like how you're just shaking your head.
I have no. I was going to say the only thing I had was mine's a downer. I was driving back from my dad's, and he lives in northern Arizona, and I was going back to Vegas, where apparently Efren and I were working at the same time. Just we didn't know each other. The only thing is, I'm driving over the Hoover Dam, and there's a scene in the Doors documentary where it's being narrated by Sean Penn, and there's like this clip of Jim Morrison with this big 40, and I always wanted to go over the Hoover Dam drinking and driving. I got pulled over by Homeland Security.
Oh shit.
Because that was like at the time very sensitive. This is 2015, 16. The guy goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's on me. That was not smart." He's like, "How far do you live from here?" I'm like, 7 miles, 8. He's like, "All right, let's go." One of your tires goes outside any of those dots. You do anything wrong, next 7 to 8 miles, jail. You drive home safe? Cool. He literally followed me into my condo, which I don't even know if that's like legal or not.
It's definitely not.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But I was like, at this point in my life where I was just like, fuck it, whatever. But no, I don't know what I was doing, but
so there was a time in your life you were Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
Yeah, like it literally.
Fuck it.
Ouch! Ouch! Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that was not good. But no, the only other times where I tried to walk out of Walmart with a Tommy Bahama styled hat and shirt on.
You would.
On acid.
Hey, the weirdest
check it out, Gordon Soley.
Yeah.
The weirdest part about
acid.
your first story, Carl. I'm sorry. The weirdest part about your first story, Carl, is the fact that when the cop followed you to the house, he had to do a potty cavity search too.
I agreed to it. I'm like, yep, good.
Sure.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Real quick to interrupt here because I know everybody cares. We just saw Tully Blanchard defeat Ricky Steamboat for the television title. He's keeping the belt.
I wanted to say, I thought that finish was masterful.
Yeah.
I mean, the referee swings over. They're doing the sunset flip, right? Referee swings over, puts his head down his tights, on his thing, boom, back down his tights, covers, whatever.
And I don't know if you guys saw during the match, but Steamboat gave Blanchard the slingshot suplex, which would ultimately becomes Blanchard's main move, his finishing move for a long time after that. And only 2 matches left, guys. So
our kind of rule is when we're watching these shows, like if the match is good, it's kind of like the Conrad rule.
Yeah,
the match is good. We don't discuss it because it's.
I don't think well, for those at home that are like maybe listening to it, I just figured I would give them some closure.
This is easily the worst version of Superstar Billy Graham.
Oh my goodness, this is karate superstar Billy
with
Graham.
A mustache, not even the goatee, a mustache.
Yeah, I was about to say, what the heck?
He's a bald Tom Selleck.
What is he fucking doing?
But he's got a whole karate gimmick going. Yeah.
I tell you
And
what,
it's-
guys. Normally, go ahead.
You're going. You're up.
All right, fine. So, I'm
You're
actually
not.
not watching along at home since I'm at work. But when I'm actually at home watching, I suddenly try to steer us back to what the hell we're watching occasionally. I'm not home watching it though, so there's no ability for me to do that.
That's okay. We have Wahoo McDaniel coming down to the ring
Oh,
in full
boy.
headdress, and he's the United States champion at this point, and he's getting ready to take on superstar Billy Graham for you that are out selling auto parts right now, and it should be a good one. Listen, that's the belt. They call that belt the 10 pounds of silver.
I love it.
You could see at this point it was all painted in the red and blue, but it would start to really fade away, and they ended up just cleaning that belt off, and it was all straight silver by the time Magnum TA would sport it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And that belt looks so damn good on Magnum TA.
Love TA #1 and love that belt with TA.
That's what's I think is so frustrating with belts now. Is like with all the technology and all these artists that are doing all this stuff, and the belts from 40 years ago are kicking your guys' asses. Like it's not even close.
How is he that vascular? Look at his veins.
I'm a vascular man.
Damn it,
Like,
pal.
God, oh my.
Hey,
I'm gonna
superstar.
I'm gonna ask a naive question here. I don't know who exactly. This is gonna sound terrible, but I really
excited.
don't know, and so I'm gonna ask it as a fan that might be watching. Who actually is Native American in wrestling lore, and not like fake, like shoot. Who's-
Tatanka.
I think it's
So
Tatanka and
is-
Wahoo.
Wahoo. So not
Joe
Chief
Gomez
J.
wasn't he?
Joe Gomez was a
Chief
little
J
bit.
Strongbow.
Yeah, I was gonna say Chief J.
I thought Joe was Italian.
See, I thought I don't know. See this is like one of the harder ones to
Yeah,
like
isn't his real name Luke
identify.
Scarpa?
Yeah.
Hey, anybody
I'm-
want to guess how old superstar Billy Graham is here?
55.
He looks like it, doesn't he?
He's.
What if I told you he was 41 years old right now?
Oh
I was
my
gonna say
God.
38.
Hey, look how old he looks, though.
He looks terrible.
He does.
Like for being that great in shape, he looks terrible.
When you think
Yeah.
of AJ Styles, who is right now 43,
43.
Yeah.
and right now this guy's 41, looks like that. He's been
Yeah.
around the block a little bit at that.
You know,
point.
if Kofi Kingston got on the gas,
Oh God.
well, that's his
Dude.
answer to everything.
He'd been a great karate fighters model.
Mm.
Could just had him on the old
Let's
choice.
see.
Like if they would have had this character on like the original Tekken, I probably would have been okay with it.
Oh,
Charlie
The
Cloud
original
was
fucking
also legit Native American.
Oh, there you go.
Mickey James, of course.
oh, I forgot about. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, actually, I think my friend Jamie wrote an article about that. Let me look that up. For any of your historical news, event
What
preview
about
needs,
the
last
Youngbloods,
word on
Mark and Chris?
prowrestling.com.
Sorry, I just cut you off.
I
Say that
think it
again.
might have been. For any of your historical needs, news, event previews, last word on prowrestling.com.
Nabes.
Names.
Isn't Mark and Chris Youngblood? Weren't they
I think they are.
the old
I'm
Renegade
gonna double
Warriors team
check
from
Jamie's
WCW
article.
1990?
Yeah.
Pauly, looking at these pictures being taken, it reminds me of the your reference earlier of Apter.
Yes.
Out of any of the books
Here.
that we've gone through, or maybe ones that we haven't, anything that you can recommend? I've enjoyed I did not get to do the Nitro book, but I enjoyed it. I do it all Audible wise. Is there anything that you really enjoy? Maybe the Apter one. You know, wrestling isn't fixed, or wrestling
Down it
isn't.
goes.
Wrestling is
So
is
you know
wrestling
who
fixed? I didn't know it was broken.
Yeah, that was Bill Apter. I
Yeah,
just
that
I put
was great. That was great. I love that one.
So you mentioned it already, TJ, but some of the books that were written on the Big Gold, the Dome Globe,
Yeah.
Also, that's those same authors did the Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the guy from Mid-Atlantic Gateway who writes those
Yep.
novels, and I loved the Four Horsemen book. I loved Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day. That's the first book that got me back into actually even reading anything. And I
Okay,
read that book and I
so
loved it.
okay, cool.
You know whose
I
book
didn't
was
mean to
like that? So that grouping was like, it was Mankind, The Rock, Austin, Angle did one. I think Hogan had one. Like the most underrated out of that whole group. I mean, Angle's was phenomenal, but The Rock's doesn't get talked about nearly enough. His book was crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Ross's account of him going to that, like he set you don't have to have an entire podcast, right? That is like perfect. You can have one parcel that you can hold on to. And I always felt like the story that he told about going to the Cuban cafe in Miami, and he's like, the guys were looking at him and the women loved him. And like, that's how I judged him. Maybe that's not being verbatim, but I'm saying that more of loosely in the sense that he knew he had something, judging by the ambience around him. I thought that was like a really cool.
Paulie, did you have a book on the North American title?
I don't. So I have the Jim Crockett Promotions United States Championship.
That's the
so
one
these
I
were
saw.
all these were all written by Dick Bourne. That's what I mentioned over at Mid-Atlantic Gateway. But I'll never forget, the big gold. So here's the big gold. That one was a large contribution was Dave Milliken, but also special thanks. This is before he started just to tell everyone it's his belt. Conrad gave a lot of insight. This picture on the back, if you see this top picture on the back of the book here, you know how he always mentions Clint from Hershey?
Yeah.
Clint from Hershey took that picture of the belt with the robe that when Conrad owned that robe. And then when I first met Conrad at a Bruce Pritchard show, I just asked him if he could autograph the book for me. Roll Tide on that.
Roll Tide on that.
For the big gold book.
So. Nice.
But yeah, I recommend all these books, especially if you're a belt mark or a belt nerd. But then here's the Four Horsemen story. The Four Horsemen deal.
Also,
by Dick Bourne.
So good.
Very good. So you can, back to you were asking about books. At some point for book club, I would like to do a series with Dick Bourne.
There you
go. And I think that would be fun to cover the Four Horsemen and then some of the belt books. And even if we get a big gold, maybe I have Conrad do a run in with the belt and just so we can see it, on the Zoom and have some fun with that. But I think that would be a fun series.
So, sorry, TJ.
Oh, go ahead.
Just to tie up the Native American wrestlers. This is from an article called Indigenous Warriors. I will put it out and pin it on my Twitter at Brandy Writes PW. Wahoo McDaniel was Native American. He was Choctaw Chickasaw, just like our good friend Gerald Briscoe. Princess Little Cloud, the Briscoe brothers.
Yes, the
Jules
Briscoes.
Strongbow, Princess Victoria, Navajo warrior who's out of SoCal, Arizona area, still working to this day. Obviously, Tatanka, Mickey James. There's a wrestler by the name of Kyle Hawk. He's out of New Mexico. Henia, the Howling Huntress. Violet Payne. Nyla Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen Wolf, who is a big rising star. He's the one who has the red handprint across the face, which is for the stolen and the missing and murdered women. Desi Dorada, also another good one. Valentina Loca.
How tall is Pauly?
Wolf. That's a good question.
Like towering over his bookshelf.
Shivani is short. But yeah, I'll tweet out this link because there's a lot of older names like Chief War Eagle. Like he dives way back into the history. So I will tweet out.
Pauly is 6'4".
Only.
Jesus Christ.
Some of us that are only 5'5" and a smidge.
So you guys were talking Bill Apter, and I thought I would show you guys some stuff.
Oh my God.
So that was I got Nikita to autograph that one, but that's him and Dusty when they were the U.S. the superpowers.
I mean,
too bad Dusty's not alive. I would love to have his autograph on something like that. Sorry,
yeah,
this
we're
is my
talking about
Go ahead,
talking
Brandy.
about the site that I write for. Mr. Apter is the reason I wanted to write about wrestling. I remember going to the convenience store and getting the Apter mags.
This one is the Steamboat when he won the big gold in '89 from Flair.
Oh God!
And he was at a Starrcade, and I was able to get him to sign that one. Here I am just showing off memorabilia, but I think this is cool because we're doing Jim Crockett stuff.
Yeah,
I'll show you up. I got something better.
Oh
goodness.
Who's the guy in the sweater? Who's the guy in the sweater?
Yep.
Who's this?
I don't know who that is. This is Magnum and Nikita both autographed both sides of this.
Oh
one.
my God!
And that was when they did the Best of 7 series for Jim
oh
Crockett
God!
magazine.
Holy shit, dude!
This is the Nitro Girls penthouse.
Son of a bitch!
Can we
Nitro
spotlight
Girls.
his video?
Oh, I actually got something better for Saved by the Pod. You would like, Pauly?
And then the last one, and then I'm done with show and tell. This was Magnum TA after they did the pro wrestling after the car accident when he was in the hospital.
Oh,
And
You know how much that is on eBay? Have you looked it up?
no, I haven't.
Don't.
He signed that one for me at a convention. All right, let's go back over to Mike Cole.
What do you think, Pauly? I think you guys would like this in Saved by the Pod.
I will give you my address for that one.
Is that Princess Di in the corner?
Yes, actually.
That's totally a fake.
What are
There's
we
no way
doing?
that's real.
Compared to pretty much all of you, except for maybe Henry, I have the shittiest collection of wrestling stuff.
We're not even talking wrestling at this point, bro. I'm talking
At
about
this
Tiffany Amber
point,
Thiessen
that's
naked.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Is that real, dude?
So these pictures that are on here are the ones all over the internet, but yeah.
Very
Like these
real.
are legit that she posed for in France.
I'm
yeah.
just gonna go just chuck these pro wrestling.
I'll trade. You want to
PWIs
trade?
and-
Let's talk about a trade. I'll trade you
Yeah,
this for
right.
something.
Yeah.
Hey,
So the-
or you
This
could just-
this
you
is
could just move-
actually.
Oh boy.
And white, just dusty.
I
Hey,
tell you
real
what,
quick,
that was
We've
one of
been
the.
waiting the entire 3 hours for.
I know,
I'm sorry,
right?
real quick. We can edit this part out, but TJ, I had Brandy hit record.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, I told him.
I was
so
scared
just-
shitless that like the meeting just ended. I'm like, hey, Paulie, we're professional here. Just shut it off.
But I
Did we
think you
lose
should
the
still get the
recording?
recording though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's what was up to when I got cut off is converting right now.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
So we
So
we
Brandy's
So-
got the
missed a
rest of it.
chunk. Yeah, we missed a
Okay.
chunk, but I tried to wrap up what we talked about.
Yeah, my
so if
son.
anyone knows-
All these guys know, but Paul, you don't know. I have a 4-year-old autistic son, and he just discovered upstairs that like, oh, I can unplug this whole thing, and it just shuts the house down. So
no. Understood. No worries. No worries at all,
Love
man.
you, Jack.
And TJ, I will let you know that Mike Kolb had a crap ton of Taco Bell delivered to my front door
nice.
while you were gone.
I may or may not
I
have
kn-
known that.
Listen, if I knew that was the deal for Top Guy Theater, I would have come on a lot earlier than this, man.
Is that all
I
it
get-
takes? Because we can make that happen.
Oh man, I'm in.
You can come hang out with us.
So-
Right here,
anytime.
buddy. Right here, my 13-year-old delivering the bag right to me. Here we go. Taco
That's a
Bell.
massive bag.
Wow. That's
Taco Bell.
fantastic.
I mean,
love
look
it.
at this. I don't even know what this is.
That's the not.
That's not just Bel Grande.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I can't eat that stuff anymore.
Did
but
you get no
Lord, I miss
tomatoes?
it.
No, I
Oh,
didn't
man,
edit
look-
anything.
Oh, that's
I mean,
I
we,
go
we
no
just got.
tomatoes. Good call, TJ.
Hey, why are you standing there staring at me, shaking your head? You guys are getting. You guys are getting Red Robin tonight, pal. So don't worry about this.
So, not knowing what Paulie eats, and Paulie's told me he's got quite the appetite.
Oh yeah,
He
you
got
guys saw him.
nacho. Sorry, that was nacho fries, Bel Grande.
mm.
Oh my goodness.
One crunchy taco, one soft taco, one beefy 5-layer burrito, and one chicken quesadilla.
Dude, and I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
Oh, I miss it so much.
So it's the guy eating 15 York peppermint patties.
Dude, I ate like 10 and they're minis. There's like 120 calories in them. For Christ's sake.
See, the thing is, I believe in Pauly. I feel like our vernacular and our natural vocabulary has been downgraded into that we should be able to say that we've run a train on food, in the sense that what you've just gotten, you can run a train on that, eating wise. But I feel like it's gotten such a sexual connotation that it's overtoned and bastardized. I feel like it should be like, I just ran a train on ... fill in the blank. Taco Bell, Quiznos.
How's that taste, Pauly? Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. He looks like he's in heaven right now.
Top Guy Theater is the place to be. Let me tell you.
We need to get Thunder Rosa Taco Bell.
What other show are you going to go on where you talk about your favorite fast food place and then it shows up at your front door while you're still recording?
Amazing.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The highlight was your wife texted you and you didn't even connect dots that you were talking about Taco Bell.
I didn't.
And you were like, I didn't fucking order Taco Bell.
I didn't. I did not connect the dots. I'm a little slow on the uptake, but man, I am in. This is awesome. My wife's like, how do they have your address? I'm like, she's never met Mike Kolb.
No.
Guys, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to spend my entire workday on this show not working.
And tune in Monday when we find out Phil got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure your boss is happy about that.
We had a guy at work like a month ago. He brought in 36 tacos for Taco Bell, and he sits them down. And of course, I thanked him and everything. I was like, "Did you get any hard shell tacos?" He's like, "No, they're all soft." I'm like, "Who the fuck does that?"
True story.
Did that?
True story. When I was in 6th grade, our social studies class, every quarter we got like assigned a region, and we had to make food at home and bring it in. So I got assigned Mexico, and my mom, being an alcoholic, never helped me with any of that stuff. So the day it happened, my mom shows up at my school with just a massive amount of Taco Bell, which was against the rules. You're not allowed to go to get takeout. So I'm in the parking lot of my school with my mom unwrapping every taco and putting it in Tupperware. And the whole room just smells of Taco Bell. But the class loved my tacos.
Of course.
Your teacher's probably like, "God damn it."
My teacher pulled me aside to ask me, they didn't have any Diet Dr. Pepper for me to order for you, Pauly, but
That's okay. I had that. And I'm about to finish. I've already finished the soft taco. That's gone. The 5-layer burrito is about done. So this is fun, man.
So true story. Pauly's wife was
talk amongst yourselves.
Pauly's wife was planning on sexy time later, but now she's not because he's eating all this Taco Bell.
They're gonna have to repaint his bedroom because the Taco Bell farts can peel paint.
Q Santos coming in as a Asian man.
Yeah, we know a guy.
Yeah. At this point in my life, I've been married so long. This is sexy time right here with Taco Bell.
I'm not gonna lie. Wait a minute. 3 kids, 2 in their teens. Did I catch that?
That's correct.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
correct.
don't want to ask questions while you're eating. That's rude.
You can.
That was rude. No. I shouldn't. Yeah, that one I didn't know. So that one hit me, and I was like, "Whoa, wait, what?" And you got the bag handed to you, like it was like you're
my
on.
13-year-old brought it up, Gavin. Yep. And I have a 15-year-old daughter. She'll be 16 in March, and then I have a 6-year-old son, Ben. So 2 boys and a girl.
Very nice.
Gavin is a massive wrestling fan.
I'm not going to say it, Mike. I know you want me to, but I'm not going to.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I actually had Taco Bell for the first time with all these degenerates when we were in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and
I'm
they
gonna
made
mute myself right now.
They made a recovering addict drive them there to get it.
Well, you were the driver.
Listen, you guys were there, and I remember I think there was some kind of Zoom chat or something going on, and you guys, Carl, you were driving the bus there. I forget what Zoom chat it was from, what we were doing on ad-free shows. But all I remember is like guys walking around, and I saw Coach walking around with some kind of ice cream, and
that was Rebel. So there was Rebel and there was Eric both that weekend, and that was one of the best weekends of my life. Like I look back at it, and I let it like breathe like a fine wine type of thing, and like I look back at it, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like it happened. Like it almost seems surreal.
A dream.
Like we went to another state. Like there's just the fact I got on a freaking plane. And I'm not a Cornet like scared flyer. I'm just saying that like it's weird to think that like during this mass weird time that we're in, we all got together, and that was awesome. That was one of the coolest things, and that's what I'm so excited for like going forward, like whether it's low key Big Hog weekend.
Can you imagine when we all meet each other, how much fun that's going to be?
Oh Lord,
it's gonna be so much fun.
Challenge
Just
accepted.
Prepared for the amount of times you're going to see Carl's ass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Real talk, Carl. The CM Punk gator you gave me, I wear that pretty much every day. It is like it has a lot of emotional value to me. I absolutely love it, and I will never, ever, ever lose it.
I mean, that weekend it holds a special place for all of us. I got on a plane and came from Alaska to Florida, not having known these people for even a month. We met on October 8th, and not even a month later, I'm going to Florida to
share a bed with Frank. That actually happened. I slept in the same bed.
That is
Don't
that
say it
is
didn't.
that is. No, I'm not saying it didn't. But I'm also a gentleman, and Brandy was with someone at the time, and I've shared this on the show before, having had my ex-wife cheat on me with my best friend, I'm not going to do that to another dude.
True or false? True or false? The bed broke.
That was the other.
Well, hold on, time out. You're going to have to talk to Mark Nelson on that one.
Yeah,
I had nothing
Mark
to do
Nelson
with it.
and Brandy broke.
Mark Nelson was in the bed with you two.
All right, let's not make that the narrative, okay?
Yes.
Let's not like.
Let's just
shut
say,
up, TJ.
Have you ever
Shut
seen
up,
the
TJ.
Eiffel? Have you ever
Let's
seen the
not make
Eiffel
that the
Tower?
narrative.
Eiffel Tower.
Oh my god!
I feel like Mark Nelson was that guy was just. I just see feet and legs flailing in the wind. That's all I see is.
The star of the show, Jacksonville, without a doubt, was Carl's ass.
Yes.
No, it was Mark's naked cartwheels down the stairs. It was him doing. No, he didn't do any of those. No, it was El Cry coming back from a biker bar, as only he could. Gosh, that Taco Bell night, yeah, that one it bled into the next day. And that one really went into the. I told this to Frank the other night. El Cry was with us, and we went outside, and we were just sharing pleasantries of legal nature. And I came back inside, and he's like, "Ha, I'm gonna put on. Oh, let's see here, Clash of Champions, Chattanooga." And I swear on my life, and I told this to Frank, I saw him as a wild-eyed Southern boy. Like I saw him in the costume, like it was starting to go into my eyes. And my pupils were like this dilated because of the fun I was having, not because of what I ingested.
Sure.
But but the pupils were like saucers. They were like Oasis.
The band?
Yeah, giant.
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall, and like the glasses he was wearing, and so, but I just saw him, and I'm like, I just saw Wild Eye say, he's like, Chattanooga, here we go, and I remember putting it on, and I'm like, okay, here we go, and that was that like again, those little moments are like the ones, and then Frank renting a Mustang. What the fuck? On this day,
let me tell you something right now.
Mustang. was.
Let
the
me tell you
best.
something. I had been going from my bed to my desk for months. When I got down there, I wanted a fucking car that had a fucking drop top.
Oh
And
yeah,
Drop
Frank's
top
ready to
titty
go.
tipping time.
and
Top
yeah,
titty
it was
tipping
drop top
time.
titty tipping time that while I was there, and I was blasting my alter bridge, and we had a good fucking time. We were
Hey,
like,
The
in
hi-
there, on this day I see clearly, and we're going down the road. Fuck yeah,
So
Like
Yeah,
funniest
Edge.
thing I've ever heard.
wonderful.
Metalingus just flying
the-
down the road.
yep.
The highlight though, the highlight for me is like I was planning on going down and I had reserved a minivan because I was planning on taking all these degenerates.
Oh, okay, yeah, like the mystery machine. Yeah.
So when Frank goes down, Frank's like, well, if Mike's not going, I'll get the rental car. Frank don't rent no minivan. Frank's gonna rent what Frank wants to drive. So Frank gets this convertible Mustang
Yep.
to haul 8 guys around in it.
It worked. It worked.
It did
Ref-
work. I mean,
referee-
Carl, Mark, and I were not very comfortable in the back seat, but it worked.
Why does Ric Flair look like he's been shot?
Yeah,
What-
well, Dusty looks like it's a referee stoppage here due to the blood in Dusty's eye.
Did he already get the spike in the eye?
No.
I missed that because I was right in the middle of a 5-layer burrito. But
yeah, no, I'm just trying to think. When was the
Title
spike
your
in the
sex
eye when
tape.
they told him
It
not
was
to do
after
it?
the Four Horsemen. It was.
yeah, that was later. That was
Oh,
later.
that was later.
yeah.
I want to
Okay,
say that was. It was either in late '85 or early '80. No, it was
I would
not
say 86. Yeah.
It was
Was
86.
it late '86?
But this is remember, this match here was not only for the championship, it was for $1 million. This was the $1 million challenge.
I
And
also
so
I wanted to say this during the match where we were telling stories that Smoking Joe Frazier looked a lot like Bronco Lubitsch refereeing this.
Yeah.
It was
look at this guy.
terrible.
Oh, that's
Hey!
funny.
That's
They
good
must have
for
they
you.
must have had like a glass partition or something there where they're at. You can see the reflection. You see Bob Cottle's head there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Reflection.
And
yeah,
there's a
you can see
guy.
the reflection.
No,
Yep.
Yeah.
he did the mop dance in Breaking 2.
Guys, can you believe we made it through Starrcade 84? That was fun though. We had fun. It was
We
just
did.
running in the background.
We took many a strange trip to get here.
It's kind of what we do.
Wow, cool.
Pauly, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you for the Taco Bell, Mike Colby. But even though I've realized he's already taken a picture of me stuffing a taco down my mouth and it's already being spread. So I've been cold. I knew I couldn't get Taco Bell and all that happy goodness without something evil and sinister going on behind the scenes. And sure enough, he's already done it to me.
So really, there's one last thing we need to talk about, Pauly.
Oh boy.
And that is, we got an Ask Mrs. Thompson anything. We got an Ask Lois anything. When are we getting Mrs. Pauly B on an Ask Mrs. Pauly B anything? Or an
That's
episode
a-
of Mansplaining?
There you go. That's a good question. My wife and, some of you guys that maybe it's the same situation for you, but she's a little more reserved. I'm the loud one, the big mouth of the relationship, and she's a little more reserved. So I have thought about that, like seeing her on an episode of Mansplaining, but I feel like the hit with that show is when you have an animated or a really into it wife or girlfriend that really is shocked and delivers that, holy shit, what is happening? And I don't know if that's Beth or not. So I'm not sure. We'll see.
You're 6'4". How tall is Beth?
Beth's 6'3". So
Oh, Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Are your
So
kids
you
going to
are
be
married
basketball
to a legit
players?
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, my son, the 13-year-old's obviously plays center for middle school basketball.
He's
the
6'8".
tallest. Yeah, not yet. But no, Ben, my youngest, is way tall for his age. He's like 100 and some percentile. So yeah, we're gonna have some tall kids.
Like, I feel bad
She
for
played
you, though.
basketball. She played basketball, scored 1,000 points in high school, whole 9 yards.
Wait, did she play college too?
She went to school, but it was more of a smaller liberal arts school, and so they played intramural sports. But she was offered a few scholarships. Her parents are really dead set on this one particular university, so that's what she did. But she was really good. She coaches middle school and varsity girls basketball teams now.
That's awesome. Pay
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, that's
Nice.
rad.
There's only one downside about you being 6'4", Pauly, and your wife's 6'3".
What's that?
You didn't get to experience being with a taller woman because it's like getting into like a treehouse. It's
Oh my lord.
It's funny that I ended up with her though, because I always preferred short girls. because as a 6'4" guy, man, you can just have a little bit of fun with that short stature.
That is
Spin him like a top, baby. Spin him like a top.
And now the joys of being married. Instead of that, Paulie and her just get to share shoes because they both have huge feet. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
Instead of
Saves on
that,
money.
well, now we just play one-on-one out by the garage, and
Nice.
that's what we do.
Do you really?
Flexi time.
Oh yeah,
for
we've played a lot of
Pauly
basketball.
is, Taco Bell deliveries.
When we were dating, we would play one-on-one, and that's not just in the bedroom. That's actually out on the basketball court.
What would you put on the line?
Horse.
I don't know. She's real competitive, man, and I would say I'm not as competitive as she is, and so she was the type that growing up, even in the snowstorm, she would be out with their basketball, shoveling the drive so she could shoot and practice. She's hardcore.
Awesome.
She's hardcore. She's hardcore. I see you there, Carl. Yep. Speaking of hardcore, Dusty looks like the Sheik from I Don't Nowhere with a towel wrapped around his head, letting it go.
I could be on mansplaining, but unfortunately, I'm a wrestling fan, so that counts.
You need someone who's going to be like have the big reaction and interact with Mance. You need that. To me, those are some of the most, like when Big Booty Judy first did it, Cassio's wife. She was hilarious just because of her responses. Oh my God, holy shit. And it was just fun. It was so fun to listen to her react.
My wife did it 2 weeks ago.
And I haven't seen it.
Fantastic.
I haven't seen them all.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's Nash and Goldberg from Starrcade.
Okay.
And she finishes. I was upstairs with the kids, and she was like, I go, how did it go? She goes, there was one guy's name I couldn't remember. Starts with an M. So I started going through all the WCW names, start with an M. None of them. And I'm sitting there going, did the name he asked, was it Mance Warner? And she goes, I don't know. I'm like, that's him.
Oh my God.
So I had to go back and watch it, like in a borderline panic. It was Dave Meltzer. I'm like, oh, well, you're not supposed to know who that is. Thank God.
You don't need to know who that is, dear.
You almost ruined my street cred in ad-free shows. What are you doing?
I thought she was going to go Nash and M and go with MASH from the 80s.
She did love Kevin Nash's hair.
Of course, because Kevin Nash had fabulous hair.
At least she didn't embarrass herself like my wife when Mance goes, "What were you doing in 2001?" And my wife goes, "Preparing for the world to end because of Y2K." Babe, that would have happened. Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Oh wait, that was 2000. Whoops." Like, he walked away, and she's like, "I'm an idiot. Like all your friends are gonna make fun of me. I'm an idiot."
Well, it's like the last one I saw. They actually watched like a really good match. No, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you pick one that's just like a shit show?
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to pick something that's ridiculous.
Here we go with the montage of highlights from the show. They're starting from the beginning. Who is this? Was this Wayne Daniel putting this together in the truck, Tony? Who was doing this? There's Dave Meltzer. Oh man, Lord help me, Jimmy Jack Funk.
Carrie looks good there.
Yeah. And it was Earl Hebner, by the way. We said, was it Earl? Was it Dave? It was Earl. You're right.
I was right.
That was a great question on Kiddo's mailbag.
God.
Do they get blown up? I never even
yeah.
thought of that. I actually never thought of that. I'm like, because I'm watching him. Look at him, how slender and slim he is here, and he's jumping around in his. He's going all around the ring.
Think about not only running around the ring, but up and down, especially with all those false finishes. If you're a ref nowadays, you're up and down constantly. And it might not seem like much to the casual fan because you're watching the action. But if you start paying attention to the referees, it's like, dude, you guys got to be in some good cardio shape to be up and down like that constantly.
Our third show, we watched WrestleMania 3. And of course, we watched Savage Steamboat. And your eyes are automatically drawn to Savage and Steamboat. But I think and we actually talked about it during the show, what gets lost in all of that is you missed the performance of Dave Hebner.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is bouncing around like a bouncy ball that entire match. Like he's everywhere. And he just, I mean, that was a phenomenal performance by Dave Hebner.
Here we go. Here's Michael PSA's.
There is a promotion in Ireland that's independent, Over the Top Wrestling, or OTT. They just have one referee. His first name is Niall. His last name is Fox. We call him Foxy. And Foxy is the only ref. So by the time the main event comes around, Foxy is a tired boy. He is sweating profusely, and they're like, yeah, just give Foxy a minute here.
No, thank
Oh, there's that Larson kid in his mom's bathrobe.
Keith.
Keith, there we go.
Keith Larson. This is a household name in '84.
In his mom's bathrobe.
Watch out for your Adam's apple. Going up here. I might be a little bit ahead.
Talk about a match before its time. Tully and Ricky Steamboat.
That was a good match. That was a really good match.
If that match was 3 years later.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
it's got so much attention.
Yeah.
Well, if you even go back to '83 and then let's fast forward the dog collar match 3 years.
Oh
yeah.
Shit.
I agree. Greg
Well, I mean,
Piper.
Yes and no, because Piper blew up with Rock and Wrestling and then his feud with Hogan. I mean,
true.
That was pretty much the peak for Valentine.
He really liked dyeing his hair black, though, from what I hear.
From Rhythm and Blues.
Is that true? It's not true. Oh,
false. I got it.
Buddy.
It's backwards. Oh,
God
damn
what
it,
is
buddy.
wait, what is still going on here? Wait, why is this still?
It's just.
Why is Joe?
Wait,
Smoking Joe Frazier does not look very ripped here.
No.
He looks terrible.
I'm pretty sure
wasn't a
he's
body
well
guy.
past retired at this point.
He wasn't a body guy.
Was he not? Am I just wrong on that? Is that? I guess you go back to
84.
Tyson.
So when was he? Yeah, when was he big? Was he later 70s then?
So later 70s, and then
Smoking Joe.
he got.
When did he fight Ali?
He beat Ali. That's why he was here. So it had to be late 70s. Hold on.
Smokin' Joe Frazier was an American professional boxer who competed from 1965 to 1981.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
so
he,
he'd have
but,
been
he
done in
beat,
81.
but his last win was over Ali, right?
You have to thrill him Manoa October 1st, 1975.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he still had that. I mean, you can hang on
That's
to that
9
one
years,
forever.
That's 9 years ago at this point.
Oh,
is.
wait a minute. 81 is deceiving. He retired in 76 following a second loss to George Foreman. He made a comeback in 81, fighting just once before retiring for good. So he's actually been retired since 1976.
How about I want to throw this to you, TJ. This is yours. Softball it, crush it. How was the tale or the lore, the legacy of Hulk Hogan told if he picks, instead of Pastamania, picks the Hulk Hogan grill? Do all his problems go away? Do we have a Gawker thing? Do we have all these problems? Not problems. Let me take that back. Let me ask it one more time. Do we have a different narrative of Hulk Hogan if he takes the grill over the pasta shop and his then girlfriend?
I mean, the family's still together. He's still main event in WrestleManias today. He's still the champ. Everything changes if he gets the Hogan grill.
And that was pitched to him first.
That is weird. I mean, that's crazy.
And yet he went with Pastamania.
Pastamania, which was on the first episode of Nitro. I never heard from him again, which is probably for good reason.
It's because wasn't it the no, I don't want to put slander out there. I just know it has a connection to Olive Garden. Put it that way.
Any closing thoughts here on today's show? My wife, I can smell bacon upstairs.
This was a great time, man. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks for coming. So I was going to get Team UC on here, and we would have completed the trifecta.
Yeah, you'll be ready. He's a little shit talker, but he'll tame it down. He'll have fun. But you should have him on. Listen, he just became a top guy, and I think he wants to get more immersed in the community. So I think that would be fun. He'll do well on this.
Put a little bug in his ear.
What's that?
Put a little bug in his ear.
Yeah. Oh, he'll do this in a heartbeat because he's like, man, you and Efren, you guys are getting to do all this stuff. And he's like, I'm the bridesmaid. I'm like, dude, Don't worry, you'll get to share in some of this fun, right?
Him
Mike?
and I are both Air Force vets, so I mean, I'm ready for him.
There you go. Well, just reach out, DM him, TJ.
I will.
Yeah, shoot him a DM. That would be cool.
What should we watch with Timmy C? Should we watch like Heroes of Wrestling?
He's
or
a
something?
huge Macho Man fan. God. Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, just find out. See if there's something.
I'm not watching that, but I refuse to.
Watch UWF from the Manatee Civic Center.
There you go. We've been trying to find an excuse to watch Beach Brawl.
There you go.
Thank you, God.
That. He would love that.
Thank you.
Live from the Manatee Civic Center. That's his favorite line.
I think it's time to say goodnight.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Brandy and Carl and Phil and Frank and TJ. And yes, you, Mike Kolb. Thank you for the dinner. And that was fun, man. That was a good time.
Thank you for coming. And until next time, this has been Top Guy Theater.